In the middle of the night, or early Friday morning, depending upon where you are in the world, a group of experienced comics professionals get together to examine and instruct about the art form that they love. That's great comic artwork on Comics by Night, Fridays at 5 a.m. Eastern, here on the Indie Comics Network, indiecomicsnetwork.com.
What was that? This is not a charade.
Tasting, what we do is take a small amount right off the top. It doesn't take much. That's the warmest part right here. I'm going to invert the spoon. Cover all 9,000 taste bud. Aerate it. Warm it up. Driving up that top note. That cream. Pure vanilla. Sweeteners. That's a 10.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful Thursday morning.
Good morning.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
So, last week, StreamYard was acting all wonky.
Yeah.
Yeah. It still is a little bit today. It's still not quite right today.
It's nice to know it wasn't just me.
No. So, it's not quite right today.
It's never you, Randy.
No, if they
Always me.
they don't get their act together, I'm changing services.
Yeah.
You know why? Because our chat deserves better.
Here we are. Exactly.
I find I always have to remove layers, remove videos, take content out of StreamYard to stabilize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy. And you know, I have a lot of things that I like to do on Thursday morning.
Ooh,
Like sizzle the bacon.
nice.
Pedro's like, he's thinking of all the things that he likes to do on Thursday morning. That's not what we're doing. So last week I was out of town. I was on the road. Had a convention this weekend. And I'm going to tell you what, I probably won't do this convention again.
Okay.
There was very
that?
little comic book presence there. And
Such a shame for Comic Cons to lose that comic touch, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do terrible, but I didn't do great. I broke even.
Oh.
You know,
That's like
breaking even ain't a
cutting
business.
off the head of the chicken.
Yeah.
It really is. You know, breaking even though ain't a business.
No.
Nope. That's a hobby.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't do that convention again. And if you count the time that I was away from the drawing table,
Yeah.
then I lost.
But
big
okay,
time.
what
Miss
was
money.
that con full of then?
It was full of weebs and, believe it or not, mysticism. They actually had palm reading and tarot card readings there.
Witchcraft.
They had witchcraft.
Brujeria.
I mean, they were okay with that, but
Okay.
but you know,
Yeah.
heaven forbid you vote the wrong way.
Satan's
Ku Klux Klan. Oh no! So the Baba Yaga convention.
Baba Yaga.
Satan's taking over, man.
No, they're actually not that bad. They don't care about that stuff. I'm so sick of friggin' politics invading my comic book space everywhere. You're either a left-wing militia or you're a right-wing militia. Can't we just be friggin' nerds that read comic books?
There you
For
go.
crying out loud.
Yep.
I was explaining to someone that you know, Fund My Comic is a free space for everybody just to hang out,
Yeah.
irrespective of who or what you are. And they was like, well, you know, I don't really want to put my book up, my product up next to someone that has a swastika on their campaign. And I didn't even know how to respond to that, right? Because my first thought was, well, I remember this movie called Zombie Nazis. You know, that had zombie Nazis, right?
Yeah.
So what if someone does like a zombie Nazis theme? Because I've always thought that'd be fun to do.
Dude,
And
have you guys seen Iron
you've got
Sky?
you've got to have a swastika on the zombie Nazis, right?
Yeah. Have you guys
So I'm
seen
like-
Iron Sky?
I've not, no.
Dude, you gotta seek this movie out. The Third Reich moves to the moon, prepare for 40 years, and come back to Earth on flying saucers with swastikas in it. It's
Iron
an
something.
awesome movie.
Iron Moon.
That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, dude, it's been really fun.
That sounds like my kind of
Oh
movie.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
So,
they
but-
grabbed a German black model and they inject them with a agent called Der Albenizer, and they turn him white.
The Albanizer.
Der Albenizer. Dude, I laughed my balls off
I
all
get it.
throughout that movie, man.
So I started thinking about that. I'm like, because you know we got some political parody on our thing, you know, and I was like, I've never met anyone that is a legit Nazi or that looks at the swastika and is like, oh, I love this thing. I've never met anyone. I didn't even know how to respond to that because the first thing was like, well, what if someone like puts one on there as a joke, right?
Oh, dude, you want
like-
to see that? Go to
they're like-
Misiones, Argentina.
They're doing you know, like zombie Nazis or something like that. Because that was all I could think about. And then I was like, wait a second, really? And then I realized that what that means is I don't want to be seen on a site next to someone that I don't politically align with.
Yeah.
Voted the wrong way.
I have a brand. That's what was said. I have a brand
God.
to
No, no.
maintain. And I'm like, well, I have a brand to maintain too, douche nozzle.
Hey, can we
You know?
go back to being
Since
dudes?
we've already crossed the family friendly line, this is
Yeah.
Yeah.
can we
he has
be
a
dudes?
brand, and that is to be a pussy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It upset me
The
just a little
Nazis
bit.
they're foils. They're bad guys in comics.
Well, there's really only one way to respond to something like
You
that.
can have a Diet Coke or a Coca-Cola. That's what Mahatma Gandhi said. He said you could have Diet Coke, but why?
Gotta go.
It's okay to have a villain on your comic book.
It is okay to have a villain, and you know, but it's also okay for people to have a villain in real life. And I understand that sometimes each one of us play the villain for somebody else, and I know that. I know that I play the villain for some people, but I also play the good guy for some other ones. And I've got my own villains, but I don't spend too much time. Now I was able to warn someone of the predatory practices of one Gibby that runs around out there.
Giblet.
Yeah, the Giblet. My daughter talked some people out of buying some Scout comics. She come back. She was so proud. She goes, I told them don't buy those books. They're douchebags.
Nice.
And I was like, well, what did the guy at the table say? He goes, eh. I'm like, oh, so he knows. Of course, he works with them. He knows what they are. I feel bad, though, because there are good and honest creators over there that are just trying to make make a living, right? They're just trying to live their dreams, but they don't realize that their leadership on that company is the way they are and who they are.
Leveling up into a hate group.
Yeah, at one point, do you like excuse them, or it's just bad judgment?
You know what? I would go around and ask everyone how their day is going, or how their week is gone. Yeah. But let me be honest. Our chat is blowing up today.
Yeah.
Right? It is busy. So let's get in here and welcome some of these people. We've got Schism is in here. He was here at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time. Wow. Hail the Baconeers. Welcome. And he says, and to Ronan, who I shall join in the ways of the coffee this morning. Speaking of that, look at that, 32 ounces of Joe.
Here.
Freshly ground this morning.
Nice.
Welcome, John Apple. John Apple's in the house. Woohoo! Second.
Oh, John.
Ronan's review is in the house.
Dude,
Damn, I told the wife I had to get her butt in gear this morning or I was going to be late.
Oops.
Hey, guys, I want to do a convention next year in the U.S. Which one would you recommend?
Tampa Bay Comic-Con is usually pretty good. It's pretty close to you. That might be the only comic convention in Florida.
Pretty close to you.
Yeah, it's only 4 hours.
Comparatively speaking, yeah.
It's only what? 4 hours?
4 hours.
4 hours by plane.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, didn't know.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's probably going to be the only convention I go to in Florida next year.
That's just made Mexico a lot shorter in my eyes.
Yeah. No, the thing's like Mexico does like a curve, and Panama's like at the end of that curve.
Yeah,
so
straight
like
line.
Panama, Cuba, and
just right up.
Right there.
Yep.
Go over Cuban airspace, you'll be there in no time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Hey, what did you guys think about this whole F-35 showing up missing?
That was funny.
That was funny.
Yeah.
All right, so
you make a stealth aircraft and you shut your black box off. What do you expect? You're not going to be found.
No, listen. Get this. There is a either a 4chan or a Reddit where someone is saying that they're part of the LEO in that area. They're like this was not an accident. That militia shot it down with a 50 cal rifle. Militia shot it down, and the military, the United States government, would rather Wayne stupid than weak, because people knew that a 50 cal weapon, a commercially purchased weapon, could take out one of the most powerful killing machines that we have.
Well, look at how long it took them to shoot the freaking balloon down from China. They had to let it get all over the East Coast before they decided to shoot at it.
Could you imagine if this is like America spent 6 times over what everybody else spends in the military? You know how afraid they would be to invade America? Like if the American population can take down planes from America, what would they do to a Russian plane?
What I like is that they were offering a $10,000 reward if anybody found it.
Dude.
I tell you, we ain't hunting. We ain't. You don't need more than 10 rounds to hunt a deer. I ain't hunting a deer, Joe.
Yeah, I'm
hunting no deer.
So the one thing I know about the military is when it's new equipment, there's secrecy involved with it, and obviously the F-35 has lots of secrecy. But the fact that they grounded the entire fleet, that wasn't just to do a head count on how many planes they had. That's because they were trying to figure out if there's a deficiency of some sort. So maybe that is true, that maybe somebody did something to trigger the auto eject of the pilot, and the pilot's like, dude, I didn't eject, I just got ejected out of this fucking plane. And maybe they're like, ooh, we need to look at these things.
It'd be funny, some kid playing at home with an electronic set hits the wrong frequency.
No,
Jets flying over.
Let's think about the life from the pilot's point of view. I'm flying one of the most dangerous pieces of equipment in the world, and all of a sudden I'm flying.
Yeah.
I am out of the plane. I don't know where the hell it went.
How am I going to explain this to my boss?
This guy's like having his Top Gun dream, like playing like
the whole way down. He's thinking, "Did I hit a button?" and didn't realize that I hit a button.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, let's find out what this switch does.
Wow, what's this button?
It's like, man, I might have screwed up. I don't know.
We're just gonna.
Well, it was labeled right over top. Don't press this button.
Captain Bradley.
Pressed it.
Yeah, can you
That's
imagine he was
funny.
trying to like fire like the Gatling gun or something? Like,
We've
you're
got
cool, man.
Oni64 in the house. Welcome, Oni64. Great.
Oi, oi.
Wolf
Oni.
Comics is with us. Hail.
Yeah.
We've got Dr. Mask, Retro Lisker in the house. Welcome. Manticore is in the house. Welcome. Good to have you here this morning. Dr. Ben is also joining us. Welcome, welcome. Nerd bacon and black coffee. There you go. We got Glenn Fleming. Welcome, Glenn.
Hey, what's up, Glenn?
We have got Russ Leach, the comic book black belt in the house.
Hey,
Good to have you
Russ.
here.
What are you calling Ho?
Good friend Finatra has joined us this morning. Finatra, you've been making some sick beats lately, brother. Appreciate what you're doing out there. Man, of course, is Hell Finatra. Yeah. We've got Frederick Guimont. I believe I'm saying that right. Good morning, gents. Good to have you here. General Piggy is in the house. Great to see you this morning. Let me see some good comments coming in. Aliens are jamming the signal. Coming from the bacon this morning.
Yeah.
I saw a meme of an alien in the F-35 after they got it, opening up like some sort
Oh
of
yeah,
packet.
the cake alien from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my first
We don't have
favorite.
Spectrum.
Paper
We have some good
mache
stuff.
sculptures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody looking at it could see
Russ
that,
does
yeah.
not want to know what Pedro wants to do in the morning, but he does. I'm wondering if there's some coconuts involved.
Oh no, dude! I think my rooster just got into the family stash. He's being very adamant. Tell everybody it's morning.
General Piggy says I was at HippieCon. It felt like it, man. It was weird. It's weird. It wasn't
Lots
quite
of
right.
hearts and feathers. And,
Yeah, and there was a lot of there was so much gaming stuff. Like everybody had dice and gaming stuff, and
Well,
nobody
that's
was
good.
selling. People weren't making money. Like they weren't making a ton of money there.
So there wasn't very much comics there. That's the thing.
it was a game con, yeah.
There were tons of weebs, and my son. So my son.
What do you mean by weebs? Sorry.
Anime and
fans.
manga fans.
Oh.
Yeah. So I didn't realize that my son was like a
old
legit.
man behind on the lingo, I guess.
I didn't realize my son was like a legit anime fan. Loves One Piece. Loves Demon Slayer.
I love a good One Piece
And
too.
somebody was dressed up in the yellow. Man, I can never remember the name.
Pikachu?
Character. No,
A
no,
yellow
not that
character?
one. Randy, the next few
sounds
things I'm
kinda
about to
right.
say, you're not going to know anything about.
Well, Randy's gonna be like,
I know basic manga. Come on.
I
can
literally
do
just
it.
learned this. So there's this character from Demon Slayer. Where's Yellow? Cannot remember the name.
yeah.
But people were dressed up as this character, and every time they would pose for a picture, my son would go. I'm like, what's the problem? Because that character knows one move. That character has mastered one move. There's nothing else. But is very insecure because he doesn't know if that one move is ever going to be enough, right? But that one move is completely unstoppable and decimates. He's amazing. This one move, his whole life. And I was like, man, that'll preach right there. You know, get good at one thing. Try to focus on one thing, right? But he's like, none of them, like the thing he does to get ready for the move is this, like that. And none of them are doing it. Like, they're not even real fans. They don't even know. Like,
Oh no.
he was so mad. And he's like, why is everybody, whatever the kid's name is on One Piece, why is everybody in his first gen costume, like uniform, like clothing that he's wearing? And I said, because that's what they saw on Netflix.
That's
Yeah,
as
he
far as
goes,
I've gotten. Yeah.
He says, oh God. He's like, so I'm like, now you know how we feel when we see comic book people that are like, yeah, oh God, you know, whatever.
No, but the thing is that Weavery tends to be like that, and that's what pisses me off about it a bit. That they get like very, very passionate. And I guess that's all right, because dude, that means they're like loyal fans. But dude, they get into fights. And,
Oh, my son
Steph-
would never get in a fight over that stuff.
Yeah.
He just does
I've
what
never
I do.
heard.
He just shakes his head
I've never heard
silently.
that term before. Where does it come from?
I have no idea.
Weebles?
Weeaboo.
Like
Weeaboo.
Japanese.
Weeaboo.
weeaboo.
Yeah,
Is
Japanese.
what in Japanese?
I don't know.
Anybody in the
I-
chat? No.
I read
person
backwards.
a person who thinks they're Japanese or they think they're an anime character. Like,
So you
Yeah.
call them weebs?
overly obsessed.
Yeah, we call
Overly,
him.
yeah, it's like somebody who's overly obsessed with Japanese culture. That would.
I got it.
I think.
All right. Sure.
Yeah, so that works. All
I'm
right.
very passionate, but
We
I
got
don't
Ronan's
go
reviews
with
in the
them.
house. Welcome, Ronan. It's good to have you here.
What exactly
Dr.
is
Mask?
the weeb, normal nerd cutoff? Like, what's the,
Otaku,
where's
I
the
think.
point?
Where's the
the-
cutoff?
Yeah, where's the cliff?
You got to go
It's
look
just
at
another label. It's like nerd or geek.
Yeah, no, the thing is, like,
Right?
as long as you don't smell like cheese or any other like milk product,
Yeah. Well, technically, my son's not a weeb. He just enjoys manga and anime.
Yeah, exactly.
He says they write good stories.
Back in my day, they used to have these things called Weebles.
Well, he won't buy comic books because there's not good
wobble,
stories in
but
them.
they won't fall down.
Yeah. But can you blame them though?
I don't blame him.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, good stories are not in comic books right now.
I don't blame him. I don't blame
Not
him.
on the.
Can I interject?
Please.
Since we're already past the introductions and all that. I visited my local Barnes and Noble for the first time in a couple of months, and I have to say I was deeply impressed because the last time I was there, it was practically all manga with one bookcase of Marvels, one bookcase of DCs, and one bookcase of oddball nut job stuff. And this huge room dedicated to manga. Well, the manga section is now cut in about half. There's a lot there, and they've got full sets of great, Demon Slayers there, Attack on
I'm
Titan,
actually
all of that
I
stuff.
think I'm going to
all
watch
in a
that
row.
one. I'm going to get that one.
One bookcase of Marvels, one bookcase of mostly of DCs, but they had 3 bookcases of independent.
Oh, nice.
Oh, very
graphic
good.
novels. And I have to tell you, whoever's buying for Barnes and Noble right now, at least in my area, is doing an incredibly good job, because there were books there I almost bought because I had never seen them before. I opened it up and I
it's
went,
whoever
wow,
took
this
over
is
for
really
that guy
cool.
we talked about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so kudos.
Remember that one
to-
guy bought for Barnes and Noble and got promoted
Yeah.
to some other company,
Yeah.
right? So
So
they hired.
kudos to whoever's supplying Barnes and Noble, especially in this area, because there was a lot of great oddball stuff.
Nice.
That's
Very
great
nice.
news, man.
Awesome.
Great news.
Dr. Mass doesn't know how some of these indie guys do it, going to cons every weekend. Some of them that's all they do. Like, I know a guy that's homeless. His car is his home. They've bought
Heartbreaking.
no, he loves it. He's in hotel rooms. Some other people, they live out of their camper and they just travel the country doing cons every weekend.
Yep.
They love it. Now they're not like, they're crafters and stuff like that. But, some of them have a home base, but
And they've got their schedule set up months in advance. You ask
Yeah.
them where they're going to be in 3 months, they can tell you.
yeah, but like an indie
Yeah.
guy like me, no, I couldn't do it. It's incredibly expensive, especially those ones that don't sell. These 2-3 day cons are changing. I'm finding a lot more success at the 1 day kind of
The 1 day con?
weird trade shows, flea market type things.
That's what you almost have to do a paper show. And there are a couple of them, mostly 1 day, Saturdays set up at VFW halls.
Yep.
Around here. There's a couple of them that go on every month down in Detroit that are really good. And you go in there's all sorts of unusual dealers offering all sorts of unusual stuff, mainly magazines and comics. And it's just a good time. Yeah.
So I sold a lot. Like I did sell quite a bit, but the people that I sold to, I heard this a lot. I don't buy mainstream anymore. I
Yeah.
buy back issues and indies only.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
And I said, well, good on you. We're not mainstream. Because they saw all the Arrow stuff we had. And so they figured we were just another one of the cogs in the wheel. And I'm like, oh, no. We're an organized, I almost said militia.
You didn't have any.
Yeah.
You didn't have anybody say Arrow. I remember that from the 80s or the 2000s.
One guy did.
Yeah. We're an organized militia. Here's a pamphlet.
Yeah,
There's a
there you
pamphlet.
are.
You must provide your own weaponry.
You must
So you-
provide your own weaponry.
You're talking about flea markets and stuff. There's definitely something to be said about the impulse buyer, right? Because that's essentially what you're going to encounter at a flea market. You don't know what to expect. Games Workshop, which does miniatures and tabletop games, they base their entire market on impulse buying, right? And
addiction.
Yeah, and addiction, I guess, because everybody has to smell the glue to put their stuff together.
The thing about
But
creative people too is sometimes creative people aren't good at marketing. Like I've seen tables where people flock to the table, but the stuff's so expensive, no one buys anything. So it clearly has the draw. It clearly has the interest. People are coming to your table, but it's not priced right. That people aren't handing money. People,
Yeah, they don't understand pricing. Well, there's a lot of things that goes into that whole marketing. And marketing online is different than marketing for a con or even, to a store. But what I'm noticing is that the customers' needs and wants are starting to change from the con last year to this year. In fact, a lot of them were very upset that there wasn't more comic book representation. I heard that a lot.
Yeah.
I heard that a lot over the weekend.
That's
But
news too.
I also found out that that. So I thought that I had a demographic, that my book was basically men ages 35 to 64. No, I have no idea what my demographic is at this point. I mean, I had 20-somethings. I had the dweebs, the nerds. I had the hot chicks buying them. I had the lesbian couples buying them. I'm pretty sure I had a couple Democrats, a couple Republicans. You have no idea, like, who is into this when you pitch the story. And I got pretty good at pitching both books in less than 3 minutes. So I was pretty excited about that. You know, I could run through and like this, there you go. Most of the time, I hit a sale. What really worked was free. I brought an entire box, 100 copies of issue number 1, and I would give them away for free. Like, I would draw them into the table for a free copy. All they had to do was listen to my pitch. And that worked. And about 15 to 16% of the time, we converted from a single free floppy to both trades.
That's
both
cool.
trades, yeah.
That's cool.
Which we had a special. Instead of 25 for both, we did 40 for both,
like fishing
with a free print.
25 for each. You mean 40 for both?
40 for both, yeah. So you can do 25 for each one, or get both 40, and then we threw in some free swag, which was worth about another $5-10. So worked out pretty good. I mean, it worked out pretty good, but without that working on the fly, trying to figure out what are these people buying, like what is their spending trend at this con. Without doing that, if we'd have just locked into what we were going to do at the beginning of the convention and not adapted, we would not have. I mean, we did a little bit more than break even. We made a little bit of money, but
the things like what you just said, I don't know, like, you're not going back to that con, right?
No, I'm not going back. Not unless they invite me as a guest.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you hear the complaint of not enough comic book representation at the con from the attendees of the con.
Yep.
So you see, it's like a rolling ball. I'm not telling you to go back, like, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not here to say that, but you see the situation.
Well, the early bird artist alley table was $190 that I paid last year. That's an insane amount of money for a con that
will not.
That doesn't have your market. When I saw the marketing this year, I told Beth, I said, we're not going to do well.
It's not catering to. It's all like
because they're not even talking comic books. It was Star Trek, and I had a lot of Star Trek fans. Nice. I got one copy of Rift Riders out. I almost sold some Soltac. Almost. I was so close. He was right there, and I was like, "It's Star Wars. If Star Wars didn't suck now." Yeah. And he goes, "Oh." And it was like, I'm busy. I gotta come. He was in costume. He's like, I'll come back when I got my. And I'm like,
and I tend not to believe people in costumes. That's
yeah.
And that's a peeve of mine.
Yeah. Look, Dr. Ben is happy to see Mad Ruth on the panel today.
Thank you.
Speaking of Mad Ruth, here, I'll show this off. Present.
This comment is going to
share my screen. Let's do this one. We're not going to do this news article just quite yet. I just want to show off what we've got going here with the old Mad Ruth. Some of you may not know this, but he has where is it at? It's down here. It's a campaign. It seems like it's the old campaign. It kind of is, but it's been revamped, and he is now funding for issue 4 of Soltac, which will be shipping of March of next year. Look at some of the art in this thing, man.
Dude, just because of the monkey in space.
Ka-chow.
You should get this book.
Look at this, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You know what the ugliest primate is? The bonobo.
In your opinion?
The bonobo.
The bonobo is one ugly primate.
Gnarly.
I love this. Look at that
Find a way to
spit.
put one of those in there.
Just claws them to death.
Yeah, like,
the bonobo,
ship, but...
they have swollen genitalia.
Yep.
And it's gross. And they just walk around flashing their junk at us. And I hate it.
That's the least of their troubles.
That is the least of their...
Can you believe, Luke, that we did all this in less than a year? Like, I only launched Soltac on Indiegogo September 30th of last year. It's been 1 year.
Wow, it's been less than a year.
There you
This
go.
looks great, guys. Check out his trailer real quick. I love seeing that arrow.
Yes, me too.
Always.
Sexy logo.
This trailer's by Good Stuff too, by the way. He's got really good rates.
He's got the good
Yeah.
stuff.
And don't forget
I'm
Pedro.
gonna have
does
him work on my
trailers.
next trailer. I'm gonna have him work on my next trailer that's not animated.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I don't get jealous. Okay, I'm not a jealous partner. If you're gonna do
I like to
trailers
keep
with other
Pedro
people,
busy though.
yeah.
I'm a Pedro simp. Was this boobs back there?
Yes,
You covered
there
up the
are.
nips.
They got stickers. They got
Covered up the
stickers.
nips. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, the boob scope.
Man, this book looks so good.
Yeah, dude.
I told someone, I said, look, my daughter kept pitching it as like, it's Space Marines.
Yeah.
And she said, after the first 6 pages, when the writers explain the world, it's like the band's back together and they're kicking ass. It's basically how she described it.
Do you mention monkey in the book? Because that should be.
I love
Are
that.
you aware that there's a monkey in this book?
Yeah, have you seen the monkey?
Yeah, because that's a thing I've known with North America. You
That's a
guys
blue-faced
love
orangutan.
monkeys. Yeah. You guys love monkeys in North America for some reason.
We
don't know
do.
why.
I don't know why. We just love
Yeah.
primates.
Monkeys have always sold comics. Monkeys
Yeah,
and dinosaurs. Yep.
Mhm.
Is there like a
werewolves.
code or something to do with
And
like
scantily clad women.
Yeah.
Well, that's
gorillas
yeah.
and selling stuff?
What
Yeah,
that would
there's
be?
some psychology behind it. I couldn't explain it though. Same thing with
There's-
dinosaurs.
There's also psychology on the colors of the cover.
Yeah.
A famous
So-
quote involving comics and
Dude,
gorillas.
the thing's like
and
back
Yeah,
here in Panama, like we have this
Holy
lake.
Schwartz.
We have an island in it called Monkey Island, and I've seen
Monkey Island.
those monkeys strip the women naked, like little
Can,
gringuitas, little American tourists.
Wow.
They're stripped naked and they're she's so nice. Titties out. It's like, dude, like you guys love.
Howdy,
monkeys
Russ.
so much. Yeah, dude, it's weird.
Nothing's wrong with a bit of mystery and mysticism.
Yeah.
It was a little crazy though at that con. I mean, it was like legit, like odd. Like I felt
Witchcraft.
serious. Like if my mother were alive to see that, she'd be like, "Oh,
Oh my god.
devil, 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 devil."
Got a
Yeah,
I
bad
mean, it was
vibe.
pretty bad. It was pretty bad in there.
Got a bad feeling about that place. Is that what it is?
Stop,
I
hold
did.
your
Well, they
phone,
also
bro.
had a
Morning Hojo.
Voltaire concert, and no offense to the Voltaire fans out there, but a lot of the Voltaire fans that I saw were middle-aged white women that were dressed like they want to be witches, and they just my daughter just referred to them as horny housewives.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
You know
it
what was
pretty
really
sad.
sad? You know what's really sad, dude? I played in a tribute to Motley Crue like 4 years
Skies.
ago,
Yep. There you go.
and I saw the girls that were hot in the '80s
Welcome, Hojo.
trying to dress like they used to dress in the '80s. coming to the
Right.
tribute.
Well,
Dude,
yeah.
it was sad, dude. It's like, oh, Brahma, what are you doing? Okay, girls. Oh.
We got Jen Jen in the house. Welcome,
Hey.
Jen Jen. New name there. Nice to see you this
Bonjour.
morning. Welcome to the Bacon Nation. Russ says the appropriate response includes the phrase
Effing idiot.
Effing
Yeah.
idiot. Yeah.
Effing.
My brand.
My
My brand,
brand.
yes. Everybody's worried about my brand. It is what it is, man. I'm not worried about it. I figure if you need Fund My Comic, it's there for you.
Yeah.
If you don't, I guess you can. There's still simps for the green site and the pink site. They love those places. We're running a new promotion that we're going to be promoting here soon, guys. I'm going to drop it here first so you guys know.
Yeah.
So here's what we're doing. If you run your first 30 days for a brand new book on Fund My Comic exclusively before you go anywhere else, for that 30 days, for as long as you run that campaign, exclusively on Fund My Comic, it's a 2% platform fee instead of a 3%. So you can bring your initial audience in and keep way more of your own money and then go run cleanup on the other ones.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh my god.
I'd
dude.
say
Like,
Right?
I'd say the only mistake I'm seeing creators doing is when they're trying to fund, they'll put it on all 3 platforms same time.
Oh,
I
right.
understand the need to increase your footprint, but you can't really add the total. Like Indiegogo isn't going to say you've made your funding goal if you try to add your total from a different site, right? So I'd say one thing creators should do is start on one site till you hit your goal and then branch out.
And then move out, yeah.
Yeah,
I was really surprised. Peter Samedi ran Alternaween on 3 different platforms. His own website, Indiegogo, and Fund My Comic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you're splitting your audience. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you're.
Well, you're trying to grab more.
I mean, it's great.
There's the
for,
there's people.
He's trying new things.
I mean, I suppose it works for him. I think maybe his idea, Craig, is that people are going to come to my website already, and then if they're already on Fund My Comic, maybe they'll check it out there, and if they're already on Indiegogo, they'll check it out there. I don't really care if those two really hit their goals. All I care about is the total combined effort that I reach.
With your
thing with
combined powers, yeah.
The thing with Alternaween was to move as much profit or product as possible.
Yeah.
So he went to Indiegogo where he's always been. He's got his site that all of his faithful people go to, and now he's got Fund My Comic to try to bring in new people.
Yeah, well, he's only brought in a couple.
Faithful customers.
He only brought in a couple over there.
Yeah, faithful people sounds like a cult. Faithful
Oh yeah.
customers.
Oh, I love faithful customers.
Yeah.
They're my
Yeah.
favorite.
Treat it like a rock band, where like a rock band can't play in 3 cities at the same time, right? So like, hey, we're on Indiegogo right now, but we'll be coming to Kickstarter around the corner, and we'll be coming there. So just you wait. If you're loyal there, we'll come see you in a couple months, you know. And
Welcome, B.S. Warren.
show a travel
Warren.
show.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Unless you're Michael Jackson, then you can be anywhere.
Then you can be anywhere you want at all
That's
times.
because he was magic.
You're
He
not
does magic.
you're not teleporting. The staggered approach is honestly really good.
35s are crap. Ooh.
Stretches everything out.
Now we got some
And,
fighting
I
words. Yeah,
read
the
that.
Raptor is pretty good though.
I read
Obama.
that, Grey Wolf. Like the Raptor is like $1 billion over what the F-35 is, and that's why they went with the F-35.
Aren't they supposed to crash? They do have autopilot, so
Yeah.
they can go for a little while.
Yeah, they do have autopilot. But why did they try to go to Mexico?
Welcome,
Like, I
Tree
don't know.
Goblin. Tree Goblin's in the house. Good to have you here, my friend.
Hey, what's up, Tree Goblin?
John A. Douglas, welcome, John. Good to have you here. Let's try to get through the rest of these welcomes so that we can move on to some news, because we've got some great news. Ray Haylock's in the house. Welcome, my friend.
What's
It's
up,
good to
Ray?
have you here. Good to see you again. A lot of good welcome. A lot of goodwill in the chats.
Yeah,
Very
folk.
good. Yeah.
Good folk.
Oh, Zenitsu. Thank you.
Yeah,
Character's name is
that's
Zenitsu.
exactly,
He's
yeah.
only mastered one move, but he's perfect at it.
Yeah.
He can only do it when he's asleep.
Or
Is that true?
Yeah, well, only because he's a coward, so he like passes out of fear, and then he goes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, like the character development and that. I've seen the series. I haven't read the manga, but
So weeb is a negative term
yeah, it is.
directed to anyone overly obsessed with Japanese culture to the point where they become annoying.
Okay.
Used
Yes.
frequently on the image boards of
Yes.
4chan.
Dude, the things like
Got it.
Finatra said it perfect, man.
they
You've
spill
got
over-
away with words, my
Yeah,
friend.
they spill over real life too. That's the thing.
Yep.
Dude, when I had the animation
Welcome, Will.
school, dude, the amount of weebery that came by that door. I want to make an anime. Like, you can't make by yourself. Dude. It's like hundreds of people.
You got to have like 100 people to make an anime.
Yeah, dude.
Welcome,
Hicks
Hicks
Villain.
Villain. It's good to have Hicks Villain in the house today. Free works great. I was at a con 8 weeks ago, gave away a bunch of free floppies and sold 40 graphic novels in a weekend. Yes, you're giving away a floppy, like
Yeah,
you're giving
dude.
away like $2, right?
That's,
Yeah.
that's
Like,
the hook. You're
like
fishing,
at the end of
baby.
it, really, you're giving away like $2. When you sell a graphic novel, you're making like 15, right? So it's like, yeah, I'll give away $2 to make 15. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's,
exactly.
I think that's the way
Once
to
you
do
got
it.
them buying one thing, you can always get them to buy something else.
Okay,
You
yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
You got to be clever.
Yeah.
You got to be clever.
That's the escort approach.
That's what we did with our books. It's funded on other sites. Just trying to convince my writer to come over here. Well, he should. It shouldn't take much convincing, especially when we, with that new promotion, run at least your first 30 exclusive
Yeah.
and get 2% platform fee. Come on, that's an insane deal. Pete has a small issue with combining
Yeah, if you-
postage fees, but he likes FMC. Yeah, well, there was a way around that. There is a way around that, but coupon codes, folks. Coupon codes is the secret. It's the future. Just call me insane. Welcome. It's good to have you here this morning. Great to see you. In the late 70s,
You know about
the
USPS
Wombles
ground mail?
played USPS ground mail.
Or say what?
Yes.
We do, but he's talking about our
Ground mail? Yeah, that's the way to go now.
he's talking about our Fund My Comic shipping
Yeah.
The
thing.
Wombles.
The Wombles played in two different venues at the opposite ends of Britain on the same night. Got sued big time.
Never heard of the Wombles.
So I want to show something here.
Show.
This is something that never mind.
That's
I'll
like
do
that's
it
like
later.
Gallagher and his brother. Yeah.
Yeah, you can cause some trouble. There we go. Let's get into some news, guys. Let's get into some news. Did you know? Did you know
No.
that? Let's get back over here. Boom, boom.
Okay.
There was some excitement at Walt Disney World this week.
Aha.
I gotta make this a little smaller here.
Now that sounds like a fun ride.
Something no man has ever said.
Is that the bear? Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard about
There was a bear.
that. A bear.
Walt Disney World.
Nice.
He was believe of all places, he was in Frontierland.
Funny.
He heard they were changing up the show for Country Bears. I think he was there to audition.
Thought Disney World had an entire weekend for bears.
Hey yo.
Wow.
Hey yo, good one. Ding ding ding.
Wow.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. That's funny.
So there was a bear loose in the park. Is this in California or Florida?
Man, everyone's gay once in a while.
This is Florida, my friend.
Oh wow.
Florida. This was
Disney
Florida.
World. Okay. Yeah.
Disney World.
I didn't know they had
Whoa.
bears that down in
Orlando.
Florida.
Oh my gosh, we got bears all over Florida. Black bears.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I know
Black
we have
bears.
them around here. I didn't realize they went that far south. That's cool.
Oh no, they're all over the place down there.
Bears is everywhere. Okay.
I guess he was really either hungry because like Disney World's loud, right?
Very.
Yeah.
We call them trash pandas.
But aren't they right in the middle of a bunch of wilderness? So
Yep.
you're inviting all sorts of wildlife to stop by.
Alligators. There was a kid that got ate by an alligator once there.
Damn.
They got too close to the little lake they have.
Bear was
They're
a
at one of
happy
the
ride.
resorts. Yeah.
Truck.
Alligator
was a
grabbed their
happy bite.
3-year-old. Alligator grabbed their 3-year-old and gone.
Da, 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 da. Chump.
It's a small
Pretty
world.
much.
That's just terrible.
Check this out. Bear family breaks into Krispy Kreme truck for a sweet treat.
Sorry.
Name 'em.
It's not unusual to see a mom taking her kids out to pick up some Krispy Kreme donuts. However, no one expects to witness a black bear mom and one of her cubs ransacking a delivery truck full of tasty treats, especially the Krispy Kreme store manager. Whew.
Dude, that's a problem with bears. Like they're funny looking and cute, but they will tear your head off.
They will. They get it. Have you ever seen a grizzly bear walk on its hinds? My wife and daughter, they believe that I look like a bear walking on its hinds.
Whoa. Okay.
Because they're like, well,
Whoa!
it's got no butt.
Okay.
Do you
they
use
walk
corner
funny.
walls to scratch your back? Like, do you do that?
I do.
Yeah.
Nice.
All the time. You know, when and when I finally saw a bear walking on its hinds doing bear things, I was like, I get it. I look just like that. That's incredibly accurate. They've got these long torsos and short legs.
Wait. Hey, that happens in Alaska, not Disney.
Happens everywhere. But that's precisely what happened last week in Alaska when Shelly. This is a different bear story, buddy. We moved on.
Yeah.
But that's precisely what happened last week in Alaska when Shelly Diano heard a commotion inside a delivery truck parked outside her shop at Joint Base Elmendorf Richardson in Anchorage on September 12th. I was beating on the van and they're not moving, Deanna told the Associated Press. I could hear them breaking open the packages and everything. I was like, They don't even care. No, they don't, lady. They're bears.
Do you think they're thinking like, oh, the pool troubles in this lady?
Yeah. During the donut drop off, the delivery driver left the ramp down and the doors opened briefly. It was plenty of time for the hungry mama and her cub to help themselves to breakfast.
Bet she won't do that again.
No, she ain't doing that again.
I would have left the pot of coffee for the bear.
Yeah.
You
They
can't
give
have
me
donuts without
some
coffee.
chocolate milk, some donuts and chalky milk. Yeah. Guys, let's take a moment. Joe Matt passed away at the age of 60 on the 18th of this month.
Peep Show.
Not
familiar.
Yeah, he was the artist behind the comic book Peep Show. Very popular. Very popular. Matt was born in 1963 in Lansdale, Pennsylvania, suburb of Philadelphia, and started drawing about the age of 5. His mother encouraged his artistic interest, and he cited the comic strips Peanuts and Little Abner as his earliest influences. After
Little
working
Abner.
at a burger
Yeah.
chain. Yeah. After working at a burger chain and a broom factory, he decided to eschew normal life. And therefore, as he wrote in an autobiographical letter to Mari Naomi's students, I've lost my place. Repost by her Patreon. I wanted no part of what was deemed a normal life. I renounced materialism in all forms, except for books, which I considered something altogether different. And to this day, at age 49, I'm still the same. I've never owned a car, cell phone, computer, credit card, you name it. Good people. Good people. It's sad. We keep losing good ones.
Yeah. But was the comic any good? Like, I'm not familiar with Peep Show.
Oh, yeah. It was all right.
It was good?
He did mostly slice of life comics. Yeah.
Yeah, like Abner. And,
More like American Splendor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Kind of stuff, yeah.
Nice.
Randy, can you keep an eye on the comments for me, bud, just in case Luke
Well, I
is
had,
a bear. LOL.
Yeah, I'm way behind on that, as far behind as you are. Everybody,
Luke is a bear.
everybody smash the like out there. Yep.
Yeah. I was about to say, Luke, you walked into that one.
I did
Phenom
walk into that.
Comics,
I
that
bear walked right
Terrificon.
into that one.
If you bought their book and read a few chapters, you could go back to their booth and get a free hat. Yeah.
Smart.
Remember, you're a Womble.
Womble.
Wombles of Wimbledon, wombling free.
Free.
Yeah. Making good use of the things that we find.
All right.
Never thought hire him. They'd never hire him. He's too accurate. I'm not sure what that.
Hire, I mean,
Those
hire
two.
as in, yeah, give him a contract.
So this is the divine intervention. You could become a spiritual guru on your own, but you just have to tie your shoes, and you just have to know how to eat burritos backwards.
That's right.
Like one does, apparently.
I am an expert at eating burritos backwards.
I've never been so confused and illuminated at the same time.
Chris is in the house.
What's up,
Red Dress
Chris?
Press.
Welcome, Red
Hail,
Dress Press.
hail, everyone.
Welcome. All right. Rick Remender signs exclusive with Image. Rick Remender, who has in the past written titles for Marvel that include Captain America, Deadpool, and Avengers, has signed an exclusive deal with Image Comics. The 3-year exclusive contract is effective immediately. Remender has been publishing his Giant Generator line of creator-owned comics with them since 2013. Recently, Image has been publishing deluxe hardcover reprints of Remender's backlist, including such titles as Deadly Class, Black Science, Tokyo Ghost, and Fear Agent. Last year, Image announced an exclusive with Jeff Lemire that carved out a significant exclusion. This deal appears to have no such exceptions. Remender
Yeah.
Remender emphasized ownership in explaining the deal. I've recently turned down very generous offers to write X-Men and Batman, and while flattered, that would ultimately be a step backwards artistically. And now, where my heart is at. Bingo. This guy gets it.
Yeah.
He said in a statement accompanying the announcement, Image takes no ownership, so my partners and I co-own 100% of our properties. It's short term versus long term thinking.
Can I
you
get
want
a
to
date
build your
here?
own house.
Yeah.
You want to build your own house? Make something that your children will inherit.
There you
Image is the only place. This contract is me saying that I bet on myself. Bingo. Another bell for you. I bet on my collaborators. Bingo. I bet on our characters, stories, and owning what we make exclusively. With all we
I
got,
like this guy. I like
like
this.
our lives are on the line. Man, I
don't-
like this guy.
I don't agree with him thinking that Image is the only place.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
mean,
don't-
It is a
Yeah,
place.
found.
Yeah.
It's a place. It's not
It's
the only
solution
place.
he
but-
found, but the things like the sentiments are in the right place. So
What- Yeah, I'm happy to see that. He's actually a good writer. He's one of the few writers out there in the business right now that I do enjoy some of his work.
His theory is sound. Let's hope it works in practice.
Right. We always hope that. People on the move, Leanne Centaur. Centaur. Spelled different.
That's
looks the
probably her
same.
real name.
Now Seven Seas publisher.
I
The
mean,
manga
Senta-
industry
Sentaro-
veteran gets promotion.
sentar means to sit down in Spanish.
So Leanne, sit down.
Yeah.
Manga industry veteran Leanne Centaur has been promoted to publisher of Seven Seas Entertainment from her previous role as sales and marketing manager for the company. Former publisher Jason DeAngelis has become president and CEO, and former associate publisher Adam Arnold will become vice president and COO. Centaur joined Seven Seas in 2012 as a freelance editor, becoming head of the marketing department. In 2017, Centaur has been working in the manga and comics industry since 1999, when her first role was writing Sailor Moon prose novels for Tokyo Pop.
There you
She
go.
co-founded Chromatic Press and its digital fiction magazine Sparkler Monthly. Very cool, very cool. Congratulations to you, Leanna. Another person on the move, guys. Check this out.
That's-
Ryan Shelkett returns to Diamond.
Oh.
Returns. He left for a little while. Former national sales director is back as executive director of vendor development. Ooh.
It's kind of like
Toys and
you
merchandise.
left hell and then you're coming back. You're like, you know what? I missed hell, and then
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
She does seem like a true manga fan.
Yeah.
Diamond Comics Distributors has hired Ryan Shelkett as executive director of vendor development, focusing on toys and merchandise. Wow. No comics there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, one of my favorite comic shops set up at this convention had nothing but toys and collectibles. Not a single comic book in there. In their
Wow.
booth.
Wow.
was he
Because comics
selling
didn't sell last
toys
year.
and-
There
was
was
he-
not. I'm sorry. What was that?
Was he pushing?
So quickly-
or was the comics or the collectibles going like out? Was he selling anything
He was selling stuff. Yeah.
like more than the comics at the
Yeah.
convention?
Yeah. His whole shop is now gaming, and it's very little comic books at his shop. He's not doing as well as what they used to. It was. Let's put it this way: there was no vendor there that had the boxes full of, the long
Comic
boxes
books.
full of back issues.
But I mean,
No one was
what's-
doing that
what's-
there.
Nobody? There wasn't a
Nobody.
single vendor there with
I
long
didn't-
boxes?
I didn't find one. No,
Absolutely ridiculous.
because that's what I wanted to
Sad.
look
Real sad.
The market's changing, I guess.
Yeah, dude. We're in shifting.
Not in a
points
good
right
way.
now.
It's a
I
missed
blame the
opportunity.
mainstream for that. Yeah, it is.
Well, I feel like the normies are leaning more towards manga and collectible
Manga.
statues, games.
They're not leaning, they're being pushed.
Yeah, I
because
think
of
yeah.
bad quality work. Yeah.
They're
True,
left
true.
without a choice.
I have
So,
I have no complaints.
I
Right.
was going to lean into what
That
Randy
man gets
mentioned.
shamed for. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like, so going into my local store, like we have a local bookstore as well, huge footprint in a mall, and it used to be a shelf-to-shelf books, all books. Now their entire bottom shelves are empty. They've got entire shelf spaces empty, but that wasn't the part that really. The part that got me was they're now selling furniture. They're selling soaps and candles and
What?
home decor and stuff like that in what used to be just a bookstore.
Well, it
don't
looks
wanna
like
see what
Diamond
people
is
do
hiring
either.
this guy back to focus more on trying to push those toys and merchandise into these comic book shops. They're going to start turning them into other types of retailers. I have a
Toys R Us
feeling
is
that
gone.
comic books are going to become more and more niche,
Niche.
even harder to get than what they were before.
Yeah.
I think the direct market is seeing that I think the poor quality of some of these comic books, and it's not fair because I mean you got guys like Remender who are doing really good work, you know, but now their stuff is harder to find because in total the garbage and dribble that they're putting out is just not selling. And if anyone tells you that the mainstream comic book industry is doing well, they're fooling themselves and they're lying to you. When you've got guys like Mark Miller that are being quite honest about it, that things are struggling. When you go to a comic book convention and comic books are an afterthought, it is just sad. It's sad. Sad state of things.
Yeah, it is. Russ says that it is changing in a good way for independent creators. Yeah, that's
it
true.
is. We're doing fine. In fact, like I said, most people said I buy back issues in retailers.
I see this as an opportunity in disguise. You could you could easily get into take your comic book worlds, expand them into gaming, collectibles, and
we're seeing people do that. I mean, we're doing that. I sold some quick plays at the convention.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
IDW Publishing showed a loss of $1.28 million on its fiscal quarter 3 ended July 31st, 2023. The result of lower sales coupled with higher expenses, a difficult combination. The loss was a big drop-off from the $595,000 loss in the year-ago quarter and from the $200,000 loss in the most recent quarter. IDW Publishing sales of $6.25 million were down $300,000 from the year-ago quarter, which the company attributed to a decline of $1.167 million in book market revenue due to fewer releases in 2023 and smaller decreases in licensing and royalty and in digital sales, partially offset by a jump of $932,000 in direct market revenue from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Lost Years, plus smaller increases in direct-to-consumer sales and book market allowances and returns. Who was it that said about 6 months ago that when IDW lost their licensing deals, they were probably going to go bankrupt and go out? I don't know who said that.
I think everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I distinctly
figured that out. So
I distinctly remember saying that, and I had a few people, not on this panel, but a few people out there like, "You're insane. That's never going to happen. They're a great company. They've got great IPs. Do they really?"
We've talked about IDW off camera.
Yep. Printing costs were up $339,000.
They're not going out of business anytime soon.
They were up $339,000 in the quarter versus the previous year. Printing has gotten more expensive. They're printing less books, but paying more money for printing now.
It is, yeah.
That's part of what's killing the print industry for comic books, which is why something we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Digital is starting to make its way as a viable way of making money. Anyway, la-di-da-di-da. IDW, their holding sales were $6.26 million. Company-wide loss was $1.5 million for the quarter. Bad. Not good. I'm not sure what their stock price is because I haven't looked it up. But, oh wait, they've stopped. They're not even on the trade market anymore, are they?
No, I think they fell off, didn't they?
I think they fell off, yeah. All right.
Pretty
Here's
sure
some
they
good
did.
news for everyone out there. TikTok adds e-commerce.
Oh, boy.
Powerful new competitor for live selling platforms.
Wow.
Guys,
TikTok.
you can run a TikTok and sell your comic book from your TikTok video.
You're more than likely going to be selling ass, but yeah.
It's the ring of China. That's the first.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. China will own you.
China.
Are you okay with that?
China. Good
The
deal.
I have
rollout is
problems
expected
with
to
that.
reach all TikTok users by early October. So by this fall, you could be selling Soltech directly from your TikTok there, man. Ruth.
Yeah, like TikTok right now to me is just shaking bottoms and crying women. That's all I see there.
Yeah. Well,
It's
get out there and
like-
shake your bottom,
I don't know.
Pedro.
I don't
It's
know
a
how good that is.
Faustian deal.
Yeah.
A Faustian deal for sure. Like I wouldn't. You
It
don't.
really
You
is.
don't. You do want to deal with it because you want the sales. Everybody's on TikTok, but at the same time, you don't want to deal with it because it's TikTok.
Yeah, but
And everybody's on TikTok.
Yeah, but the people who consume TikTok are not there to buy stuff. They're there to get a little dopamine
Right.
hit
It
of
might
somebody
not
who's
work.
worse
It might
than
not
them,
work.
or see a
WhatsApp,
fellow
I
geek.
think, is where people go to do live auctions and live buying.
Yeah.
Facebook shut down its live shopping features last year, while the new crop of live shopping platforms, including Whatnot and Network, which I've never heard of. What is people's aversion to vowels? My gosh.
Yeah, the networkers, the same guys that make the Stiller.
I saw a church while we were traveling that had a name similar to like that, where there was no vowels in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Stiller.
Well, I could see a benefit to TikTok. I mean, we talked about earlier about impulse buyers, right? I almost assure you that people that hang out on TikTok have low impulse control. So,
But dude, like
maybe,
if you're selling bathwater, like the things like that, what stimulus people look for when they go to TikTok? You're gonna be selling bathwater, used underwear, that kind of stuff.
Here's who's going to take
I don't think you're
advantage
gonna
of
move
it.
books.
So expect to see retailers with experience producing videos around the products they sell to try the platform as a way to expand their reach. And guess what? Indie Comics, what do? We make videos around selling the product that we make, right? So this could be an opportunity once you've crowdfunded your books and you've got that backlog, you've got that stock of books sitting in your garage or in your basement or in your bedroom or wherever it is you keep them.
La-di-da-da garage. Yeah.
You have to buy a Val. You have to buy a Val.
I remember
Yes, you do.
The Simpsons. Like, ooh, la-di-da-da garage. What do you call it? Car hole.
The car hole. If you're keeping your books in your car hole, then maybe this might be a great way for you to sell some of those books.
There might be some people out on there who will buy your bath water, Pedro.
I don't need TikTok to sell my bath water, Chris.
He's got them lining outside of his front door.
I already
Tell your
have a
dog
market.
watching stories and you'll
Do you know we have
You
a
should.
famous in no time. Yeah.
Chris? Do you know we have a healthy influx of German tourists in Panama?
Do we?
Are they- I was going to make a joke about visiting distant family members. But.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Judge declares Texas book rating law unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So you know that we've been talking about this. I don't think there's anything wrong. I think that this is common decency. This is just common sense. If you're making a book that has sexually explicit material in there, you should put on there that it's not suitable for children.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Fart jars.
That's another market. Yeah,
But we have the CBLDF, the ABA, the AAP, and booksellers sue over this because apparently they really, really want to show porn to kids.
Apparently,
Flooded
that's the
again.
way it's looking.
And this judge agrees. You should be able to sell porn to kids.
yeah, it's freedom, right?
Russ says every time Pedro makes me spit my coffee.
It's part of the
I
reason
agree.
why.
I trained really hard for that, Russ.
Look, this is all news from ICV2, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Like, I haven't gone off site yet, right?
The tourist women
We're
page.
still here on ICV2.
Yeah.
This will show this should bring this up. Red State Libraries pull out of American Library Association.
Wait, they're dissociation with Allah?
Should
That's
never
kinda
trust
racist.
the pull-out method.
Yeah.
Never
That's
trust.
kind of racist.
Never
How
works.
are you going to pull out from Allah?
Really?
I'm just gonna drink my coffee and ignore that one, Pedro.
Yeah.
State libraries in Montana, Missouri, and Texas, as well as the Campbell County Library in Wyoming and the local library in Midland, Texas, have all announced they are leaving the American Library Association in the Associated Press.
Okay, sorry.
The Associated Press reports, objecting to the ALA's defense of challenged books, including those dealing with sexuality and racism, as well as ALA President Emily Drabinsky's tweet in which she refers to herself as a Marxist lesbian.
That sounds very painful.
Wow.
Legislators in Arizona,
Chinese
Georgia,
family.
Illinois, Louisiana, Mississippi, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, South Dakota, and Wyoming have also called for withdrawal from the ALA. On the other hand, state library associations are not dropping their affiliation with the organization. And Wyoming Governor Mark Gordon, a Republican, pushed back,
sounds American.
calling a letter from legislators and the Secretary of State asking him to remove the Wyoming State Library from the ALA a media stunt. The letter implies that Wyoming citizens, Wyoming parents, are not capable of deciding how best to govern themselves and need the self-appointed morality police to show them the way, he said in this statement. You see, that's ridiculous. That's not what this is about.
No.
Because it's not the parents that are the problem here. It's these books are being made, are being kind of hidden and flying under the radar, and they're being presented to the kids at their eye level.
Yep.
Right? The whole thing with marketing, and that's one of the things that we did at the con. The books that I wanted people to see, I put at eye level. That's what you do. The things you want, the high ticket items you want people to buy are right there at eye level. And when you market the same way, if you go to the toy aisle in Walmart, the stuff they want your kid to buy is at their eye level. It's not at yours. What do they put at your eye level? Board games and card games.
Yeah.
All the boring stuff is at my eye level. All the cool stuff is down at the bottom, right? Because that's who they're trying to sell to.
They're not putting it just at eye level. They're putting it like centerpieces with like stuff around it to draw your attention in, right?
Yeah, dude. They're flying under the radar and with their flies open. This is just disgusting, man. Gotta stop. Stop it.
So the first library to leave the LA was the Campbell County Library, where residents tried to have library employees prosecuted for having sex education books on the shelves in 2021 and withdrew from the ALA in 2022, according to the report. They have also removed the ALA Bill of Rights, which states a person's right to use a library should not be denied or abridged because of origin, age, background, or views from their official policies, replacing it with a policy that emphasizes keeping obscene, sexual, explicit, or graphic materials from the young readers section of the library and allowing staff to remove such materials without any official challenge or public notice.
Oh, amen. Yes.
I'm okay with that.
I am
Let
very
them
okay
use some
with that.
discernment.
Yep.
Come on. When did it become a right-wing thing to protect our kids from content that they shouldn't see?
It still stuns me how you have to legislate common sense anymore.
Look, I was an effing
insane.
liberal.
Yep.
I voted for Obama twice.
Obama.
I was a freaking Democrat. Now I'm a right-wing bigot because I want you to stop showing kids pornographic material, and I want you to stop using puberty blockers because we don't know what kind of long-term damage that's going to be, and I don't want you chopping off tallywhackers because you're not letting these people know that before they get that bottom surgery, the complications they may have for the rest of their frigging lives, they will never be able to live without a doctor.
They're just starting to have those studies come out, and it ain't good.
Communists don't like
Long-term
family.
effects.
Yeah. They're trying to get rid of
Family gets in the way of indoctrination, right?
That is not a joke. That is a natural fact.
Just flood it
You tell
again.
them, Biden. You tell them, Joe.
It enrages me that we even have to have this conversation, that this has to even come around with comic books. And for crying out loud, we're trying to have fun. Speaking of not being able to have fun, Bill Willingham fires DC. This happened last week, and he puts Fables in the public domain. This happened after Nerd Bacon last week. He pretty much says
Screw you, got them going home.
they didn't. So a couple things they did. They did not seek his approval for new artists, covers, and formats. They underreported royalties and paid them late. Of course, we know that these guys are not going to pay on time. They haven't been. I have friends that work for these companies right now, people that I know, and they're like, yeah, they don't pay on time. You know who pays on time? All my clients.
Yeah.
I do.
In fact, one of my clients paid early. He wasn't supposed to pay until Friday. He paid like last Wednesday.
Great success.
Whiskey's paid me for layouts for a couple of pages and hasn't even yet given me the work to do.
No, not yet. Still getting there.
You know, I call that scary money. When they pay me for things, I don't know what they are yet. It's like, dude, this
Look, they did not even pay him for the licensing for the property to the Telltale Games.
Dude.
Wow.
So he makes this thing public domain.
Dude, this is the best, like, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Right, but guess what? DC fires back.
Yeah, it does. It was like, oh, whatever.
DC Comics has responded to Bill Willingham's statement that he is putting the Fables character and concepts into public domain. Willingham, the sole writer of the series since its launch in 2002, accused DC of violating his contract. DC initially published Fables under its Vertigo imprint for the first 150 issues and then brought it back under the Black Label line in 2021 for a new 12-issue storyline, The Black Forest. The final 3 issues have been solicited but not published. In an official statement by DC, DC said, "The Fables comic book and graphic novels published by DC and the storyline, character and elements therein are owned by DC and protected under the copyright laws of the United States and throughout the world in accordance with applicable laws and are not in public domain. DC reserves all rights and will take such actions as DC deems necessary or appropriate to protect its intellectual property rights." Couple things here. Number one, these are all based off of characters that are fables, so they're already in public domain.
Yeah.
His version of it, which his contract clearly states that he is the owner of, he said is now in public domain.
Yeah, the thing is, like, what DC's not taking into account that this was a Vertigo deal, right? Did he ever do like a Black Label deal?
No. He said he asked them to rewrite the contract, and they did not. So the other thing that runs into this, though, Pedro, is that you got to consider is that they know that they have the power to sue, and all this is peacocking, trying to get people not to test it. They're basically saying, "Don't test me."
It's
Don't
the
test
big
us.
bully in the schoolyard drawing a line in the sand, daring a kid to cross it.
Why would anyone want to support companies like this?
Does DC even have the money anymore to hold up a expensive legal battle?
Warner Brothers
DC's
does.
part of Warner's. They have deep pockets.
Warner Brothers does.
Okay.
Yeah, they're getting
Those lawyers are on retainer.
So yeah, if they do have deep pockets, then they can basically they don't necessarily have to have any kind of standing. They just have to outspend their opponent, right?
Yeah, the thing is that the damage is already done, guys. Because it's not a matter of whether somebody publishes Fables. It's this time from DC.
Welcome, AG Comics.
It's
Hojo
people
says, "I
getting
hate these
away."
people."
Yeah, people are getting away from DC and Marvel every day in droves because of statements like this. See what happened to Luke on the comments. Like, I only do indies and back issues.
Yeah.
At some point, people are going to get all the back issues they're going to need, and these guys are going to be out. You know what I mean?
This is part of the fun also of the public
Sinatra
domain.
gets it, guys.
And the laws of public domain, they are gray. They're intentionally left to be gray because the big corporations with the deep pockets can do stunts like this and have creatives back off and make them money as opposed to making their own
It's
money.
what my lawyer told me when somebody attached Fund My Comic to a tweet that could have gotten another more powerful person upset with us saying that we were trying to defame, competitors do that all the time. The thing was, like, their site, what he was doing was not a direct competition to what Fund My Comic is doing, like Indiegogo or Kickstarter. So, but you get, McDonald's, Burger King, all the time they're like, ours is better than theirs or whatever. It's just part of the fun of it. The Wendy's marketing, it's all just part of the fun of it. So like we'll make memes and marketing like that, hey, we're better than the green side or the pink side.
We have the best burger.
Yeah, like because we really do believe in what we've got, right? And we're not shadow banning or censoring people over there. And but what was happening was it could have been, if they would have chose legal action against us for that as a defamation of someone else's product, or whatever, my lawyer's like, you need to back away from that because they got more money than you. So they'll win. They'll just draw it out. They'll even if you won, you'll just lose all your money. Right. You won't have any money to do anything with. Which is exactly what Willingham knew. Bill knew that if he sued that if he sued DC for this, They would just drag it out, and he would lose all of his money, and it would take years. He's an older guy now. He's like, I don't want to waste my life and my money on suing DC, so I'm just going to give it away. Baller move, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's big D energy right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, this dude just threw a hammer down. And of course, DC was going to come back and try to fight back. When he did that, they're losing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Even if it went to court, you know what would end up happening is DC would get to own the title Fables, and Bill would get to own his characters because they could just regurgitate new characters anyways, which is all DC and Marvel ever wants to begin with. Is the
and you know they're going to reboot these characters. They're going to be different.
It's already such a fickle claim because you can kick out a book tomorrow that says somebody's Fables or Fables from whatever, and DC can't back that up. You know, they have claim to the word Fables. It's like Marvel trying to copyright the letter X that they tried to do some years ago. It just can't be done. Any lawyer worth their salt will just toss, any judge worth their salt will just toss it.
We'll try to get to Russell at some point here, guys.
Yeah.
Aren't all these characters Brothers Grimm stuff anyways?
Yeah.
That's like German folklore or whatever.
Willingham basically said that he just put all these public domain characters in public domain.
Kickstarter's King said a small-minded
and everybody starts salivating over it. It's like, do your own Snow White, do your own Big Bad Wolf.
But here's what's really sad. Oh, that's not the article I wanted. Where is it?
That is really sad, though.
It's right here. Comics media shamefully defends DC Comics against beloved creator. Hashtag comics broke me. And these people are defending comics trying to break one of their own.
Yeah. It's just an example of the hypocrisy.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Community, let's use that word.
Oh, you silly, simple bastard.
Yeah, dude.
That's how their community acts, though. It's the typical hypocrisy.
Because everybody over there still wants a job. They still want to suck on that teat, right?
Yeah.
They still need to get a little. They need to get a little drip of that nectar.
No one can kiss and win.
Yeah, dude. This is not a community. This is a hive.
Yeah.
You have to freaking agree with every little thing. And then you're not part of the community.
It's stupid. It's so. I mean, it's so stupid. Freedom of just enjoying yourself. Freedom from all of this baloney. The business, the actual industry, the business of making comics can get very complicated. And it's a business. People don't understand that. When they call it a community, it kind of miscommunicates what they're walking into. They're walking into an industry. They're walking, and they're going to use every bit of business that they can. They're going to use cancel culture. They're going to use, purity test and morality litmus test to, that's what they do. That's what they do because they can use that for business. They can use that to keep money in their own pocket.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to sound controversial, but they tried the paperback test on me already.
Yeah.
You know what that test is?
No, I have no idea what that is.
No.
Okay. So in some social clubs of my community, they will put a paperback next to you to see how black you were.
Oh, ouch.
To let you in. So no, but it's on the road. Like, are you black enough to be talking like that? Like, I got a DM like that.
Are you black enough?
Yeah. I found that really funny. Like, dude, I'm Latino.
The Ku Klux Klan. Oh no.
And that's the thing. Those are the tools they want to use. They want to shame you into submission, and they just got to find that vector. You just bend the knee. And it's like, dude, why? I don't need you.
That's so stupid.
For anything. Yeah, dude. It's just that's what I say.
I finally just started learning some stuff about my colorist. We've been working together since 2016, 2015, and I just found out the other day that he only colors part-time.
Okay.
We actually had a video chat.
Video report.
Yeah, it was the first time that we ever connected. And he's a full-time engineer.
Oh.
And I was like, "You'll never do this full time, then, will you?" He's like, "No, we will not." Yeah, he does it when times are slow, but no. So and he's fast. He's fast when you consider he works a full time job, doing that. And he pops out, a couple pages a week. Great work ethic. There is a work ethic in Brazil. There's a Brazilian work ethic that I just admire. The only other place that I really have seen that kind of work ethic is in Indiana. Hoosiers have this, they will hate the job and they will still go in and give 100%.
Oh, yeah, dude.
They will die for a company they hate because they were raised to always do a good job, no matter what.
But that's the thing. Your last job is your presentation card. It doesn't matter how many titles you have.
Exactly.
Nobody cares. What's your last job?
Anger has to be filtered through something like a hobby, sports, or martial arts, or you will end up with an inability to enjoy everything. That's why I'm so glad I'm able to play music again. Oh, by the way, guys, I didn't bring this up, but I have learned several songs on the Mountain Dulcimer, and I've figured out most of the theory, and I can pretty well, if I needed to sit down with a band today, I could pretty much play rhythm and some leads on just about everything.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm back, baby. I'm back, baby. I'm back, baby. Yeah.
Round of applause.
Baby. I'm gonna film a couple of quick videos and post them this week, showing off what I've learned and stuff like that. But
dang it, Luke, you're right about doing a good job.
Yep. Sinatra, are you a Hoosier? Sinatra, if you're a Hoosier, we gotta hook up.
Yep, Dad literally dropped dead at work in 1986. He'd worked for Arvin Industries in Franklin, Indiana, for about 33 years. Yeah.
They will work till the day they die. Look, they will still clock in on the day of their funeral. If they could, they would clock in on the day of their funeral.
They're going down with a heart attack. I'm all right.
Yep. I'm telling you, the work ethic is insane. But I see that with the Brazilian artists. A Hoosier. Hoosier. Hoosier.
Hoosier daddy? Yeah.
That's what we call Indiana people.
Indianans.
Indianites. Indianites. We call them Hoosiers.
Not to be confused with hosers.
It's better than being a Michigander. So.
Sinatra, are you from Indiana? That's the question. Are you from Indiana?
My uncle died 2 days from retirement. Oh, sorry.
Oh, God, that
rough.
Sucks. You might be a Hoisier. I don't know what a Hoisier is.
Hoisier?
Yeah.
That's a group, isn't it? That's a
Red Hoisier is a beer from Indiana.
Rock artist.
We got a lot. I'm telling you, we're good. We're good at making beer.
The beer.
We're good at beer. We're good at alcohol and weed. We got a lot of. We grow a lot of weed.
That's a beer from Indiana. Yeah.
That's why I'm happy that we chose this profession, because most men become their job. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And when they retire, they just croak there's nothing more. And I only have a wife nagging on my ear. Okay,
if I'm lucky, I'll die right here in this chair drawing.
Yeah, exactly. I wanna die on the saddle. You know what I mean? Just drawing.
Yeah. And hopefully, I die with a clean slate.
Yeah.
With no more deadlines to meet.
Oh yeah, that would
be great. It's and done.
Yeah,
slate cleared.
The last page of the book. Nice.
While streaming.
Nice. Yeah, dude. That's something.
Hey, what happened to Luke? Luke, are you with us?
Are you with us, Luke?
I think Luke just died.
Not for many years from now.
Yeah, 20 years from now. I say 20. I'd only be 60.
Yeah.
Let's say 40 years from now. I don't think I want to live past 85. I think that's just too much. That's too long.
I mean, I just don't want to go past loss of bowel movement.
Agent Zero in the house. Good morning.
You know what I mean?
Welcome, Age Zero.
When
I
you
went-
go
When
in that
you're
department,
senile and you need people to walk you around.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to die with a comic half done.
yeah, dude. If I get to that point, I'll just hog a rock and jump in the river. Just
You know what?
become a
I'm
rare
kind of
collector's
looking
item.
forward to being RoboCop, so
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with the
Okay.
future.
As I go, one shooting people's crotches. Yeah.
Well, you know, like how he's
Why
like
not?
half, like only got a couple organs left.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And get to shoot people in the crotch. That's
yeah.
That's what you
Just
get to
eat
be
baby
RoboCop.
food for the rest of your life. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yep. Well, you can't taste it anyways. You're
Yeah,
RoboCop.
exactly. So who cares? It's just that crotch shots.
What site are you currently on, Luke?
I am currently looking at Bleeding Fool.
Bleeding Fool. That's why they have gallery-worthy body paintings advertised there.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. But those
Okay.
are breasts. That's like mature women.
Ugh.
Those are not titties. Those are
No,
breasts.
those are normal. And those are normal ladies.
Yeah, these fat kids, man.
Those are
Yeah, God bless
those are
them.
moms.
Yeah,
RoboComic creator.
Those
God
are
bless
moms.
them. God bless them all.
Hooters are from Iowa.
Hooters.
My
Hooters.
family's from Iowa.
I'm confused.
Hoosiers.
Hoosiers are from Indiana.
Hoosier.
From his ass. What?
That make me a Hoosier.
Hoosiers.
Hoosiers. We're missing an I there. I don't know.
Hoosier. Like the movie Hoosiers.
I remember.
We play basketball here.
Mhm.
You learn to dribble before you learn to walk.
Yeah,
Kid
like
you not.
Larry Bird. Like Larry Bird's from Indiana, right?
Yes.
Sinatra's confused.
French Lick. My daughter is going to French
We're
Lick
all
on
confused.
Saturday.
Nice.
Do a little hiking over there.
French Lick sounds very suggestive, but yeah.
It does. I said the exact same thing, Pedro, the other day to my wife. I was like, when I first heard French Lick, it sounded dirty.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds
sounded like something
suggestive, like saying
like a French kiss,
like a
but
French kiss
with a lick.
But yeah, but,
Is that what you do?
French Lick. French Lick.
My gosh. We digress so much on this.
We do.
Quebec.
I'm not a smart man.
Snack.
All right. So anyway, creators are not supporting Willingham in
Breast.
this, and this is ridiculous. I can't believe it.
You're not supporting breast.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. I mean,
Yeah,
toting the
but
company
you-
line, right?
Can we please pick the breast?
Yeah.
of
I don't know
our
about
queen?
Doyle, but when Willingham goes so far, this is what the writer is saying here. Let me get a quote. Let me find a quote here.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know about Doyle, but when Willingham goes so far as to lionize Didio as a gent, despite all the harm he did to the DC brand, Didio did. Maybe I missed something.
He did the new 52, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
He thought he was doing good.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like it, but
Yeah, I didn't like it. But I mean, he gave it the good college go. He gave it an effort, right?
Yeah.
And let's not forget Willingham's part in that when it came to Batman War Games crimes. That's certainly not doing much to win over anybody rightfully alienated by even the sight of Stephanie Brown being tortured with a drill by Black Mask and Dr. Leslie Tompkins, originally made to look like a crackpot who'd let an innocent girl die, supposedly to teach Batman lessons. Why doesn't DC continued employment of Eddie Berganza as an editor, only firing him after an expose 6 years ago, count as a contradiction of the whole notion they were competent even in the early 2000s when Willingham first had Fables published under the Vertigo label. Willingham's doubtless correct about DC ripping him off, but that's still no excuse for whitewashing all the worst mistakes they made artistically in good hands. Please.
Okay, I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
An erosion, really.
What he's trying to say, like, dude, you have a contract. I mean, you got proof of
Yeah.
sales of other book did back then. It's all in the open. You should get paid. What's all this? Like, I don't know, like no true Scotsman thing. It's just stupid.
Yeah, it's crazy. So somebody boycotted 5 years ago. Where are the tweets here?
Tweet.
I don't know. But people aren't backing him up, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Just further evidence of the hypocrisy of that side of the community. Again, that's what it is. Everybody out there ought to be ashamed of themselves. They're all hashtag comics broke me, all wanting to be victims. And when somebody's actually having a problem, actually in trouble, actually tired or fed up with the way the system is, instead of rallying around him, they all rally against him.
When you can make a change.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
When
They
you
go
can
right
rally
away.
together to make a change.
They go right away like,
typical and sad.
oh no.
And what happens is, who really suffers are the customers.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're not thinking about the end result, the end product. What the customers want is more.
Anyway.
What the customers want is more good content,
Yeah.
escapism. I mean, right now that's what we're really looking for is escapism.
Didn't one of those guys say like, I don't work for the customer, I work for DC. They're the ones who pay me. Like,
That's
who
what a
said that?
stupid thing to say.
Yeah, it was like a guy at Marvel, I think. I said.
What I mean,
don't
what
remember
is?
who.
But that really is the mindset of people. If
Yeah.
they're working, and even these publishers aren't working for the customer; they're working for the retailers or the distributors.
Yeah.
And the distributors are working for the retailers. The retailers are honestly working for the customers, but that's why they're moving to games and collectibles, which is why Diamond is hiring a guy to focus on games and merchandise.
Yeah.
Guys, comic books are struggling because we want to use it as part of our culture war.
Yeah.
I really do think that we're kind of like in this cold civil war or a media war based on ideology. It might get physical. I ran into someone the other day that felt that we are on the verge of a civil war that will be a very physical, very violent one.
You think we're ready for kinetic war? Because right now, the definition of assassination of these guys is digital. You know what I
Civil
mean?
wars don't have to necessarily start off in kinetic conflicts.
They don't, but they think it's going to go that way. Hoja says, I don't want the world outside your window anymore. And that's true. I think a lot of us want to ignore it. We are inundated with information every day about how bad and how crappy things are.
I actually have to interject based on historical fact. Civil war, or even violence, isn't necessarily a kickoff to civil war on politics, because for year after year after year, Tammany Hall was a bastion of physical corruption and intimidation for a very long time, and didn't necessarily result in direct conflict. So there is a buffer there, but it can get nasty very quickly.
But my worry is that it's going to go there. But right now, I don't want my comic books to be
tainted.
Yeah, I don't want to use my comics as part of a right-wing militia. Just because I am now, just because I lean a little more conservative in areas than most, than what is acceptable right now. That's not what I want. I want to be able to tell stories and explore these worlds that aren't tainted by all of that.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about the same things that we have to worry about. They have to worry about other things, like corrupt corporations that torture superheroes. But outside of that, I mean, I want to talk about space pirates and.
It's hard to ink a page when your knuckles are all bloody. So it's not a good look.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. Let my voting. Let my social commentary, let those things be the things I fight the culture war with. But as far as comics goes, I want it to be leave real world politics at the door. Say, if you have a message that you need to say, if you have something that you feel passionate about when it comes to what you think is human and decent, then let me know. We'll have a conversation about those things. Make your comic book about that. If you make your argument compelling enough and the story is good enough in your comic book when I read it to change my mind, then so be it. If it's a V for Vendetta, yay.
But look,
if it's not,
the thing's like, okay, I have so many serious thoughts on my mind. When I come to this medium, I come to avoid that. I have enough of that in my real life.
Bingo.
You know what I mean? If I'm gonna get serious, like I'm really paying attention to the elections in Argentina, it's the first time in the world where we have a good chance to have the first Bon Mises liberal as a president. Any time in the world.
Yes,
this is the
Frederick.
first time. This is I'm very passionate about it. I'm not gonna talk about that here because you guys don't care about that, and the audience is not. This is not the place for that.
Most people don't care. It's what Frederick's saying here. We don't want to make counter propaganda.
Yeah, dude.
We just want great stories that make us excited again. That's what I want to do. I want to have a space where someone comes in and they could be blue-haired liberal, like big time, right?
Yeah, dude.
But if they are telling a good story, then I'll read it. My daughter said at the con, she was walking around, this guy he writes prose, and he bragged about being kind of a snowflake, and that the bad guy in this book might have been Trump, and the bad guy in this book might have been DeSantis, and they died bloody deaths. I don't want that. That's not what I'm interested in. Tell me a good story. Tell me a good story. Do not try to sell based off propaganda. It's sad. It's weak, and there are independent. Yeah, there are independent movements right now that are trying to lean more towards, it's political. It's always been political, and I'm just, guys, stop. I'm done with all of that.
It's hard. It's hard not to get dragged into that stuff because the other side is saying that normalcy is propaganda. So you're kind of like you're their enemy regardless of whatever it is.
True.
So it's very difficult to avoid.
It's just like what we talked about with the libraries. Yeah. Like what we would have never argued about before. Like that was just the way it was. Like you protect your kids from this nonsense. Now that's a right-wing bigoted stance. I don't know how we come back from this, but I know that when I make comic books, I just want to not worry about those things.
I don't know, man.
There's still
but whiskey. Do you remember the end of 28 Days Later? When the zombies were on the floor starving because they forgot to eat because they just wanted to kill stuff. That's how I see the end. Because if we starve them of oxygen, because what they want is engagement. Let's just focus on selling books. Oh, you're whatever. You want to do the Fourth Reich? Yeah, sure, whatever. Keep on selling books. Dude. I don't want to engage these guys who are just full of hatred and bile, making up stories of what I am and what I'm not. Like, dude, I just focus on making books. Like, some people might say, like, no, that doesn't work. You gotta go and be present because they're pushing you away from spaces. Why do you want to be in spaces they don't want you? Make your own spaces. Make your own opportunity.
I don't go anywhere I'm not invited.
Yeah, dude, we are at the moment when we can create our own spaces because people don't want to know anything about these guys. Check out what's happened with One Piece and Netflix. Beloved.
Love it. That is blown up. Normies are seeing that and they're like, I didn't know good stories like this existed.
Exactly. People are sick of this lecturing.
Look, I sold books over the weekend by not asking them if they like comics. I asked them if they like good stories, and they go, yes, I do. And I said, I choose to tell my good stories through comic books because it's the oldest form of communication. It is the modern day hieroglyphics and cave drawings. So this is why I choose sequential storytelling. It's a lot like manga, just we read it in the right direction, and we use color. And so
that's the right.
Yeah.
For us, it's the right direction.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, this is just a good story, and I pitched him on the story, and people that were not comic book fans bought both trades. They bought 9 books worth of content on a story they never heard of from a creator they never heard of, and they're not comic book collectors, but they bought them because they liked the idea of the story and the concept, and they wanted to find out more.
Yeah, and that's all we need to do, man.
I think the customer's needs are changing. It's not I like comic books or I like this or that. It's I like good stories.
So I want to be entertained.
Yeah. And they don't care how they ingest that information. Somebody said, well, I'm not a collector. I said, well, I don't believe comic books should be for collecting. They should be for reading. I said, I don't mind if people collect them, but they should be for reading. What you do with this copy after you're done reading it, share it with someone.
Yeah.
Give it to someone. You don't have to keep it.
He
Take
owns
it
it,
and,
you know?
and just consume what's on the inside of it. And so I'm realizing that the needs of the customers are changing. They want less politics. They want to be less involved in the culture war when it comes to that, because things are already starting to swing in the other direction. We're seeing this, the pushback. Just yesterday morning, I believe it was, yesterday morning, a school in Philadelphia had ruled at their school board meeting that they were going to allow the bathrooms to be like trans kids could use whichever bathroom they wanted. The next morning, the students walked out of the school in protest because they knew that the young girls in the school were uncomfortable with sharing a bathroom with biological men.
Yep.
So the school, the students protested. The students did, not the parents. The students, they organized their own protest and walkout.
Yeah,
we're starting to see the pushback saying, look, we're done with it. We let you, we relented on things that where people were too harsh in their stance before. You said you wanted to be happy. We're trying to make you happy. Now you're trying to make us, now you're oppressing us.
Yeah, it's a tyranny.
Yes.
In addition to that, like, when has the high school or even high school teacher or grade school teacher ever been cool? You know, never been. Not once. They've never been. Never.
And they're
been
trying to be though right now, aren't they?
Yeah. So like, you can obviously see, like, when I was in high school, saying, like, I rebelled against everything. So these kids are going to do the same thing.
Russ, that comment wins the day for me. Fine, I'm your enemy. Now piss off and leave me alone to make fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much how I feel.
Like,
now,
I don't need
moving on from this, startup digital comics platforms aim to get the market moving again after a decade of incremental at best progress in the digital comic space. A bumper crop of startups is bringing new-ish approaches and a lot of fresh capital investment to the table. Will these new arrivals finally break digital's market share ceiling of 10 to 15%, and can they replicate the unexpected comiXology effect of growing digital sales without cannibalizing the existing direct market channel? Well, first off, in his, again, always with Rob, this Rob guy, I always just, all right, Rob, I'll sit down and have a beer with you, but this is,
exactly.
The direct market is already failing. It's on the down curve. So if digital marketing,
down curve, it's on a respirator.
If the digital market can grow any at all, that's only going to serve to help the direct market. Because if people start buying digital, most people that I talk to, they will start out digital, but if they like it, they want to hold the physical book.
Yep.
Everyone I talk, I said, you can go to my website and get all of the digital books right now. And they said, I really prefer physical. Most people prefer physical. They will give something a shot on digital because it's cheaper and faster to get to them. But if they love it, they're gonna pay that shipping. They really are. So that's first off. But so they talk about a few things. Legend, the audio comic platform. This is interesting. So apparently, Mark Cuban and there's a lot of people involved in this one. So the newest new kid on the block is Legend, which launched today. The company describes itself as a cutting-edge audio-visual digital comic platform and an immersive experience that blends captivating visuals, dynamic characters, audio, and interactive features. This sounds like what Pedro and I are going to be doing once I finally get the money to make these hybrids books. That sounds like this is video comics. Yeah. Which that's pretty cool.
Motion comics.
Scroll back up. Scroll back up, please.
Marvel did the same thing with Extremis, I think, on one of the streaming platforms.
Yeah. The thing is, as a marketing tool, it's really good. It's really good, especially if it's well done. But you can't abandon physical media. We're just like, I'm just gonna do this now, boys. Like, I don't know. I think that was the mistake. Is they're looking for a place to supplant physical
more,
media.
more and more people the younger generations are embracing this minimalistic kind of no waste lifestyle. Whether they're whatever political or ideological they lean, it's just less stuff to have around them. So it's a trend. I don't know. There's a thing to be said about digital. I mean, digital sales are through the roof in all kinds of different mediums.
Look, we were at either, I can't remember where I said it, whether at Rock City or Ruby Falls yesterday morning in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we were looking at getting either a magnet or something for the, to commemorate our visit there. And my wife was like, well, we can get it if you want. I don't have to have it. And I said, look, we have the memories and the experience and some pictures. You can't lose those in a move.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, a lot of this stuff you just lose in a move. And I think a lot of people are getting to that point. A couple other new startups are Omnibus. At the complete opposite end of the business model spectrum is Omnibus, a for now iOS only paper download store that debuted in May after gestating for less than a year. Co-founders Kenny Myers and Travis Schmeiser are both longtime comic fans with experience in the tech and app development worlds who decided to build what they described as a digital equivalent to the local comic book shop. A lot of people are saying that. Mark Cuban is not among their investors.
Out of curiosity, I was just thinking about it. Has any vendors that you've seen, I guess for the whole panel, have used those what do they call those TVs that only do ads, right? And you see them in a menu for a restaurant or something. It flicks through the different menus and stuff. Has anybody used those at a flat screen? 65-inch and just have comics on it?
Well, not comics, but yeah.
Then you wouldn't have to have your full stock at all times. You could just...
Yeah. Global Comics is being mentioned. They're about ready to launch their public iOS in beta. So they were just a web-only thing. Global Comics is the only one that I've actually heard of.
Yeah.
They've been making waves for a while. It's nice they're talking about it.
Yeah.
I when it comes to crowdfunding, as a new platform and a storefront opportunity, like what Fund My Comic is, I don't know that this site will ever write a story about us. I'm not sure that this site will ever do that. But we're making waves. We're making waves too.
Nice.
Here's a fun conversation. Right here. Are Disney's Marvel shows tanking your comic collection's value?
Oh yeah, I read that.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oops.
This is a good one. This one is over Bleeding Fool again. This is from Victor James. What a speculative conversation we should have here. Randy, do you want to read this one for me? My voice is getting a little tired.
I can't read it that small.
Okay.
You'd have to enlarge it. Can you enlarge it?
Nice bit.
I'm trying.
Where's the? There we are. Yeah.
That's about as big as I can make it.
Where are you at? You're
Right
on. No, I mean, what side are you on?
Bleeding Fool.
I can jump over there.
Okay.
Not Bleeding Cool.
Nope. Bleeding Fool.
Let me put my eyes on.
So, while Randy's
I can read it.
Did anybody? So nobody has seen those at vendors, like using a flat screen TV or just for images?
No.
There you go.
Is Disney?
That'd be a big setup for an artist alley.
Yeah. So
Are Disney Marvel shows
tanking
tanking your comic collection's value? Yeah.
Yep.
So Mr.
Naisbitt's words are never truer. Where's
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Naisbitt's words?
I don't know.
I don't see. Okay.
Value is what people are willing to pay for. John
Yeah,
Nesbitt,
okay.
that's this quote right here. Value is what people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Words are never truer, and when it comes to pricing the modern comic book industry, it's very important to remember that value is what something is worth, but
The price.
but the price is the amount someone is selling for. Those two numbers often don't match up. There are
True.
so many factors that can affect the price and value of a comic: scarcity, condition, speculative market, character popularity, storyline events, etc. Most key comic issues tend to hold steady in value and even increase over time, raising the price, especially after a major event. I would say a show on Disney Plus counts as a major event, but are there poorly received shows devaluing iconic comic books? While listening to a recent Yellow Flash video, he casually mentioned how the price of She-Hulk's first appearance has fallen since the debut of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Just like there are many reasons a comic could go up in price, there are just as many reasons for a comic to devalue. Drastic character change, diluting the franchise with too many versions, or just overusing a character until she becomes a cliche. Or Marvel and DC can blacklist their best creators out of the industry because of ideology, and they often do. There are at least a half a dozen sites pricing comics, all telling you what a comic should be worth. Most of those sites are pay to play, and quite frankly, I don't feel like wasting my money. But I found another way. Evidence. The collection tracking site Price Charting did give me some idea that perhaps Yellow Flash was speaking the truth. Admittedly, having one source is not ideal, so take this with a grain of salt. I welcome any contrary evidence from one of the many pay sites. However, us poor folk must work with what we have, and nothing is better than free. According to Price Charting, the Price Charting website, and quote, how do we calculate comic book prices? We monitor every eBay sale for comic books. Using our proprietary technology, we assign each sale to an issue, toss the junk, and record the grade of each sale. Our comic book pricing algorithm then determines the value for each issue for each grade. You can see historic prices for every issue, so you know which comic books are increasing in price and which are dropping. So price charting allows what people are actually paying for comics, not what they should be worth. There are definitely sites other than eBay that are not factored into their algorithm, and it's very possible for these prices to increase in aggregate. But eBay is where the normies tend to buy comics, so it works as a test case. Man, I'm scrolling through a lot of ads here.
They have a lot of ads on this site. That's my only problem with it.
Yeah, I did a search for the key issue, Savage She-Hulk #1, the first appearance of She-Hulk. I used the listings of raw, loose graded, and those graded at 8.0 and 9.2 because I felt these would be the most common non-CGC graded comics. In the results, you can see that the time the Disney She-Hulk series was announced in October 21, that the price for issue #1 was already on the decline, a surefire indicator of a thriving comic industry. Yet, after the announcement, there was not a noticeable price or jump in price.
Ooh, and here's that chart.
And there's that chart. Yep. This can more than likely be chalked up to speculators or price gougers charging more in anticipation. Love or hate this practice, but speculators do move the needle when it comes to comic price and value. People pay for what they think it will be worth. By the time She-Hulk Attorney at Law debuted in August of 2022, Savage She-Hulk had already settled to a decent $200 range. And there's that, see those lines going down and down.
Yep.
However, after the show's dismal performance, the price you can get for this key issue on eBay has plummeted significantly.
Wow.
That is a steep decline in value for the first appearance of an iconic character like She-Hulk, which should anger comic store owners because that is money out of their pockets. To research further, I did a search for Werewolf by Night number 32, the first appearance of Moon Knight. Again, there was a bump in price when the show debuted in March of 2022, and it held steady for months after the show before it declined. Moon Knight was better received by the audience, so this may explain why the decline in value was not as steep as She-Hulk's. Another show, Hawkeye, did not seem to have an effect on Hawkeye's first appearance and Tales of Suspense number 57. There is a small decline in price after the show debuted in November of 21. Well, that's because all of that price bumped up when he popped up in Thor?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But before I was willing to say Yellow Flash might have been wrong, I investigated characters Marvel Studios was trying to push with these series and movies. There was a bump in Young Avengers number 1, the first appearance of Kate Bishop, at the time the show debuted in November of 21. This was followed by a ridiculous spike in price in March of 22, after what I suspect was speculators believing she would be returning as the new Hawkeye. That quickly died down, however, with the demise of the show, settling at a price that is still too high for my comfort. This is when things get compelling. A quick search for Ms. Marvel number 1 found the same pattern of a bump before the show's debut in June, followed by a decline afterwards. And you see the graph.
Yikes.
It was a bump. Yet the interesting thing is, you look at the price, at all the data price charting has to offer, the price of both Ms. Marvel and Kate Bishop's first appearance have decreased overall since their show's debuts. And look at that slow slant downward. According to the graph, Ms. Marvel number 1 was worth more before the show, which is the opposite outcome you expect from a major event. That's because Ms. Marvel was not a major event.
No.
A similar search for Invincible Iron Man number 7, the first cameo of Riri Williams, you can see a massive decline in price after Black Panther Wakanda Forever debuted in 2022. In fact, you get Riri's first appearance for less than $50 in all grades currently on eBay after the speculation market had pushed the price to 3 times that amount before the movie. Conclusion, obviously the evidence is very circumstantial. Price charting is only one site using a proprietary algorithm searching a single platform, eBay, yet additional searches on price charting of other popular MCU characters demonstrate that their first appearances are doing just fine. For instance, Iron Man number 55, the first appearance of Thanos, is as hard to get as ever, as are others, like the Winter Soldier's first appearance in Captain America number 6. But of course, people still actually like those characters. As mentioned before, there are many other comic pricing sites that people can pay for that may have far more detailed data to refute these findings. There is also the graded comic book market that has an entirely different market price structure. Correlation does not imply causation.
This is a very long article.
Yeah, it is. And it's very stretched out on their site for some reason. Comic book industry is already in decline by the time these shows were. The comic book industry was already in decline by the time these shows came out due to poor hiring practices, ridiculously high cover prices. I think he's getting editorial.
Yeah, I think we're good now. But yeah, so.
But really, I had all of this explained to me years ago by a guy who was in the collectibles market, but he collected a wide variety of stuff and he had shops all over the county where he would buy stuff for a nickel and sell it for $1. He said the value of anything always runs on a wave that's usually led by nostalgia. And as the audience or the market for that property or that thing dies off, the prices go back down. So everything all runs in a collectability wave. So you're always going to see these books gain and lower in prices, except for a few very key iconic exceptions. Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, those properties that everybody knows and have known for decades are always going to have some collectability and increase in value. But the big thing that he had was records, because he had a large supply of records. And he used Andy Williams as an example. There was a time when he couldn't keep Andy Williams in his store, and now he can't keep it out of his store because everybody keeps bringing it in, trying to turn it in for money, because nobody wants that stuff anymore. Everything's gone, and all the collectability, the market for that thing has already left. The big thing that I like to use as an example for that is the Big Little books, because I love that format.
Yep.
And I literally saw that market skyrocket for a while, where you couldn't find books for, 50, 60, 70 bucks, some as much as 200, 250 bucks. Now the average price for a Big Little book is $8. You usually, if you can find them, it shows that's usually the price that you can find them at, because unless somebody's using an old price guide, the value and the collectability on that format is just gone.
I think a lot of this stuff is going to start. A lot of the physical medium is going to start going the way of a fart in the wind as interactivity and the digital realm continues.
I think certain formats you're going to see that, but there's also other formats that you're always going to see are eternal or very iconic.
Yeah, you'll never.
Vinyl, for example, is starting to really climb in price, especially the older rock and roll records, because the demand for that material has jumped, especially because of Spotify.
But that's
those other digital sites.
But
they've actually pushed the physical way up to the roof.
Yeah, but you just said a very important word here, Randy. It's demand.
Yeah.
Because the thing, like, people might think like the vinyl phenomenon is an old folks phenomenon, and you will be very wrong. There's like 20-something that have huge collections of vinyl.
Oh yeah.
So how do you make comics cool again? That's the question for us to solve.
Well, I was going to suggest that with the digital realm, we saw the same thing recently with tabletop games, right? There was a decline with tabletop games because of the practices of Wizards of the Coast. They released the movie Dungeons & Dragons, same thing, nobody's interested, but then they released a game called Baldur's Gate 3. Their sales for their physical copies of their books and D&D are going to go through the roof, because that game is one of the most popular games that you can get right now.
And so, D&D's collectability has run in waves too, up and down, up and down.
It's going to go. Yeah. It's going to go up right now because of the interactive medium. So comics in their own right could take similar kinds of trends. You could go with video comics, but you could also have interactive, choose your own adventure video comics. You could do all kinds of different things. And the sky's the limit as our technology ease of access.
But the thing that we have to take into consideration here is that the storytelling we have in comics is very different from the storytelling you get at video games. You get the very different storytelling techniques for movies, for animated shorts. Actually, I'm seeing snacks.
Speaking of different.
Yeah.
There we go.
Speaking of different. I want to welcome a special guest today. We've got Elon Mudd in the house.
Elon.
You may have seen him in the chats, seen him in the comments before, but we get to talk to him in person finally. Elon, so great for you to be here. I know you're all the way over on the West Coast, so this is still but early for you.
Yep, I'm up drinking a Monster right now.
I don't blame you.
Awesome.
Elon would have joined us at our 9 a.m., but it would have been 6 a.m. for him, and that was just a bit much. and he's going to be replacing Craig. Don't forget, guys, I just put Craig's content. Craig's got to go.
Sorry,
He's got to
Craig.
go.
Yeah.
He's got to run. He's got to run and pick up his wife.
Yeah, they call that the Canadian goodbye.
What we want to do is put a little bacon on this morning, wrap it up a little bit. I just put that in there. You can get this issue shipped. Issue 4. There's 2. There's 3. You can get issue 4, $12. This is brand new content. We'll be shipping in March. So that's running right now. Guys, it is not the same old. It's not the same old campaign. He redid his campaign. He didn't listen to me, and he knows that. But I love Craig. Let's get that book. Let's get it. Let's get some more eyes on that. Let's get that book ready so he can ship it out to you guys. But Elon, I talked with you. Man, it feels like years ago now, but it hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
Maybe it has.
It's been a while though. It's been over a year.
Yeah, I got out of the hospital in January of 2022 and started getting back into streaming shortly after. And I think that's when I first met you on Twitter.
Yes, well, actually, that was when I first was, because there's been a few books like I've been juggling. That's what's taken me so long. And it's more or less putting together a team of people to work on it. But I originally approached you because, I saw that you were a Christian. I'm a Christian. And I had a lot of questions to ask about how to get things started, about copyrights and LLCs and this and that. And you kindly took the time to explain a lot of that to me. And, I very much appreciate that. And that's kind of how we first kind of started talking.
Well, it was my absolute pleasure.
It's a great comic.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I immediately liked the premise of this book, this idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because it's just kind of silly and different. It's whimsical.
Yes. Yeah.
Whimsy is important. So, First off, Elon, how long have you been a comic book fan?
Since I was a kid. So, I mean, over 30 years.
Wow. What was the first book that really got you?
It would have probably, the first time, because I've always drawn, I think my first comic book was a G.I. Joe. And that was when I drew my first comic. I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. And I remember putting in the word bubbles, and my brother wrote the words in cursive because I couldn't spell yet. I was that small.
Nice.
And that was kind of what got me into it. And when I was about, I want to say 12 or 13, one of my friends before school ran to my house and he's like, come on, I need your help. Because, he was a little guy. And I was like, what? He's like, there's a box of comics. And we ran down the street and someone had thrown away like 2 huge boxes of comics. And I was able to carry them. And we carried them back to my house. And I decided to ditch school that day. And I literally sat there and read them. And
I love this story.
Yeah. And that's what really, really cemented it to where I was just like, oh my God. Because what was awesome was there was a lot of Silver Age stuff in this box, because this would have been back in like the probably about 1990 maybe.
Okay.
There was still just so much great stuff in there. And that's how I discovered Frank Miller. And, a lot of other
Hello.
Hey,
hello.
Whoa,
we lost him.
Elon, did you lose me?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
But yeah, it's that was kind of what my introduction to comics was, and I've been a huge fan since.
Yeah,
G.I. Joe was a great comic.
G.I. Joe was a great comic. One written by Laura Hammond.
Yeah.
Look, I loved when I found out that the comics, all these shows, these great properties that I loved had comics with them. I went nuts. Once that bug bites you, you can't shake it. Like when you have that desire to, I want to make a comic book. Yeah, Matt had to jump out because he had to.
Yeah. Well, and then also, you know, I don't know if you guys were around collecting in the 90s. There was a comic company called Blue Comet Press out of Manhattan Beach, California, ran by a guy named Craig Storman. And he ended up mentoring me in my late teens.
Sweet.
Yeah, and he's the reason Stephen Hughes met Brian Pulido and ended up drawing Evil Ernie and Lady Death. He had characters called the Varmints that did crossovers with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that was kind of my introduction to the profession of comics, you know?
Sweet.
So, yeah.
So you're the writer and the artist on this one?
No, okay, see, this is the thing. Actually, I'm plotting it with the writer. The writer's name is Tony Hoffman. I went to high school with him. At one point, he was working at Paramount at Robert Evans, at the Robert Evans Company. And, you know, that's the guy that made The Godfather, or part of the team that was responsible for The Godfather. Robert Evans died, so he kind of left that scene, and he's sort of been floating around looking for something to do. So, you know, I plot the stories with him. He writes them. And then I have Rich Ayala, who's I think best known for Roach Balls.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, and he's doing the interior work. The First Day backer card is my friend Skunk Artworks. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
Yeah, I know Skunk. Yep.
Yeah, Skunk is, dude, that guy is such like, when the world sees him, he's going to be huge. He's like, in my opinion, going to be the next Simon Beasley. You know, he's incredible. So I basically Avenger assembled an awesome team of guys, you know, to help me work on this. And then I mentioned this to Luke, but I'm not mentioning any names yet because I want to wait till we have more than 4 pages of art done. But I have a pretty big named artist that's going to be doing a cover for me, and she's just penciling it. And what we're going to do is make a great contest because, you know, the thing is, this for me has been like a lifelong dream, and I'm finally able to, it's kind of right in my grasp. So for me, I think the best thing I could do would be like create a contest for people that are trying to break in the same way I have for many years. So we're going to make a contest for inkers and colorists to work on her cover. And then the winner is going to get a cash prize, but they're also going to get a top tier name to put on their resume. You know what I mean? So it's like they're coming out of the gate strong because they can say, hey, you know, so a lot of what we're doing with this comic is we're trying to give as much back as we can, you know, because it's honestly an honor to be involved with, like, you know, the types of people that we get to talk to, the types of creators, you know, it's flat. It's humbling, you know?
It really is.
And, yeah, it's super. I mean, it's just being here is amazing. You know what I mean? Like talking to you guys. Whoa. So, you know, I just want to.
We have a guy that I think sums it up best.
Sorry, the Chihuahuas are barking. But yeah, no, you guys are the best, and you know, like I said, it's just we're going to be doing a lot to try to help, you know, young creators and things like.
We lost him again.
We lose him again.
Dude, he's doing numbers on my ego now. Jesus.
Yeah, he keeps muting.
For weeks.
Wait, I think we're losing his mic.
He's got
muting.
He chose to mute him. He's muting himself.
Oh, he is.
I'm muting myself?
Yeah, you're accidentally.
Again. You did it
He
again.
did it again.
There you are. No, you're not.
Okay, sorry about that.
There you are.
There you
go. Yeah. So yeah, no, I was trying. I have Chihuahuas that were barking, and I was trying to kind of keep that to the minimal, you know. But
Pixel would like to know: am I wrong for getting milk and cheese vibes?
There you go.
Milk and cheese.
Evan Dorkin, milk and cheese. Dairy products gone bad. Yeah, the comic.
You know, honestly, I'm not too familiar with his work.
So, all right. So your book is called The Plunger.
Yeah.
Why?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Okay.
Let us inside that Elon mind and find out why.
Okay, this is what happened with that. Are you guys familiar with Richard C. Meyer?
Yep.
Sure.
We've heard of him.
Yeah. Your boy Zach. Yeah. Right. So I was in a parking lot listening to one of his videos, and something came up about the Punisher and how Marvel decided they didn't like the fact that the military, the police, and plumbers were using the Punisher logo to promote
plumbers?
like whatever. Right, and plumbers.
Why'd they
that's
single
what I'm
out plumbers?
Right when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, you know, I could just picture Mario and Luigi like, oh my goodness, Twitter's a coming for us. And it made me laugh.
Really? What's the problem with plumbers?
Plumbers, I have no clue. But they lumped the plumbers in with the cops and the military. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah. Whoa.
Muted again.
Yeah. Well, being a plumber is very
okay.
masculine.
You're right. I'm sorry about that. So, you know, in my mind, I was just like, you know, I support the military. I support the police. And apparently, you know, I should support the plumbers too. So I decided to make a Punisher version of a plunger, basically. and it becomes a very Mad Magazine-esque type of thing. Like the first issue is mainly just a setup. But the second issue is where we go into full swing, and like we have the Social Justice League are going to be in it. We have a lot of really crazy characters that end up being in it.
So there's a lot of parody here.
Oh yeah, I built a whole world around making fun of pop culture and making fun of just different things. Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, you know, being a product of the '80s, we were able to laugh at ourselves, and I don't see a lot of that anymore.
No.
So it's kind of like,
cool.
Yeah.
So
you know,
so tell me about this character, the Plunger. What's going on in his stem?
Yeah.
Okay.
In his handle.
Well, basically the elevator pitch. I mean, and I'm not good at this. This is what, you know, my friend Tony, the writer, is the best at.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm here.
Right. I'll give you the 10-cent version. But basically, are you familiar with the movie Death Wish?
Yes.
Oh, love it.
Death Wish 3? Right. Okay. So we somewhat did what they did with Airplane, where they took a real movie that was kind of just really over the top and then turned it into a comedy.
Yeah.
Well, we're sort of doing that with the Plunger, where it's like more like Death Wish. He gets a call from his brother, who happens to be a police officer, saying, "Look, the city's going nuts. I'm afraid, like, the gangs are after me. You need to come help me." And the Plunger had just been discharged from the military, so he's on his way there. And basically, he finds his brother dead and vows to take back the city. So it's a real basic, you know, plot. It's nothing new.
That's all
it's
you
not
need,
too...
dude.
What was that?
That's all you need, dude.
Yeah,
you don't need something super complex to have fun.
God, I'm loving it.
Right. So I mean, the first issue is mainly setting up the gangs and different things. You know, like there's gangs called like the Mimes. There's the Karens. And then rule number one to Mime Club is you don't talk about Mime Club. You know, and so it's really silly. Like at its core, it's really silly. And a lot of people, when I was trying to get people to work on this, though, as soon as they heard about like the Social Justice League and certain aspects of it, they were just like, no, just flat out. I got a hard no. You know, just like I don't want.
I wonder why.
To do with this. Yeah. They were well because I have characters like Misgender and the Undocumented Manhunter.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And so when they hear things like that, I think that scares them.
Oh, dude, this is old Rich, dude.
Yeah, that's Rich Ayala. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is old Rich Ayala, dude.
Yeah, and that guy is.
Is he coloring it too, or is it just black and white?
No. What I was when I'd mentioned Blue Comet earlier. You know, it was an outlaw company, and it was very independent. It was outsider, and everything we printed while I was, you know, working with him was black and white. And I do want to make this first comic black and white, just in honor of him.
Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So. But it's been a lot of fun.
So let's talk a little bit more about finding your creative team. I know that's a lot of people that want to get started. That's kind of they don't know where to look and how to find them. So tell me about where you first started looking for members of this creative team.
Honestly, it started on Fiverr because a lot of people were like, "Oh, you can find talented people from all over the world," and then I wasn't really I wasn't finding pay dirt on there at all. And my friend JJ, who has the Bugle Daily on YouTube, he was like, "Hey man, are you going to join Twitter? Elon Musk just bought it. And I was like, well, dude, if you do it, I'll do it. And he's like, okay. So we made Twitter accounts. I didn't use Twitter for like 2 months. And then I finally just was bored one day and got on it. And I started talking to people. And
he kicked himself. Now he's back.
Kicked himself off.
Yeah.
Now he's
my
back.
creative team.
Yeah. Like,
So you have to
Was I
start
off
over on
again?
that one. So so you joined Twitter.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I think there's something wrong with my phone, maybe. Because
this is very entertaining, dude. It's
Yeah.
like you're providing yourself while
Yeah.
trying to conduct an interview. It's awesome.
Well, yeah, because I'm sitting there rambling off, and then I don't even know that the mic's gone. That's kind of funny. But so more or less, when I got on Twitter, I started talking to a lot of creators and different people. And one of the people that put Rich Ayala on my radar was a guy named Lucius Morningstar, Jeff Dominguez. Yeah, everyone loves that guy. So what happens was I was talking to him, and he's like, I really like your character, blah, blah, blah. And I said, dude, I'm going to know I succeeded when I see fan art of it. And him being just the guy that he is, a great dude, he went and hired Rich Ayala to do a drawing of the plunger. And that really put him on my radar. And then I didn't think, because I knew I had a stream too a while back, and we had him as a guest on, and he seemed like he was really busy, but then I just decided to go for it and ask him, hey man, do you want to do a comic? And he said, yeah. So
I think his art really fits the feel of the character. And it's nice to see him do something other than roach balls.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing with that was that, because I'm an artist too, and I was going to draw it myself, but like I wasn't satisfied with my style on the character, because what I pictured in my head was so much different. I wanted it to be like street art, like something you'd see spray painted on the side of a train.
Oh yeah.
And Rich is just like, I mean, the little details that you catch in his work is incredible. Like when you see in one of these pictures, there's the brother getting shot. The gangs are coming through the door and they shoot his brother, and you just see like the hole in his sock and his big toe sticking out. Like I didn't even notice that until my girlfriend mentioned it. She was like, oh my God, I love how his big toe's sticking out of the sock. And I was like, man, you can like look at Rich's work all day and still catch little details that you missed before.
Yeah, those little things like make the rereadability of comic books so awesome.
Oh
Little
yeah.
pieces of humor.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But we have an action figure that we have in the works. I think I'll be getting 10 of those next weekend. And those 5 of those will be given away as prizes during the campaign. And we're doing a lot of different stuff with how we're going to run our campaign too. So
talk about that. So,
okay,
you've never ran a campaign before, first time book. You don't have any preconceived notions of what you're supposed to. That's what I love about the kind of the new creator coming in and doing stuff.
Yeah,
you just
it's exciting.
think differently. Yeah, it's like when we when I was working with Agent Zero, Justin Sweet. He did a sign up through Google Forms instead of doing like the normal campaign kind of stuff. And I'm like, look, this guy's innovative. Like there are other ideas and other methods out there to connect with customers and connect with your potential fans. And so I always like kind of where your guys' brains go.
Yeah, well, see, this I can blame, my idea for how I'm going to run the campaign, I can blame on a dude named Isaac Bell, who does like Shrine and Metal Shade. I've talked to him many times, another really just great dude, and he's such an asset to know. But he was telling me early on, because I was like, well, I'm keeping my comic secret. He's like, that's the worst thing you could possibly do.
Yep.
Yeah. Promote it, put it out there. And he's like, because this is the thing, man, when you click that button, chances are, if you don't get funded within the first couple of days, it's going to be rough. And he's like, it's called no man's land. He's like, so between, the first to the end.
I'm glad that he led you in that direction, honestly, Elon, because there's so many people that they don't want to share the secrets. They want to keep everything secret and hidden, and they struggle to get funded. When you talk about what you're doing and show off the art and show off the characters, people are honestly, I give away. I try not to give away huge plot points.
Yeah.
Right.
When I'm pitching my books, but quite honestly, I give away a lot.
Yeah, well, because you have
they're not
to,
going to remember
get
it.
excitement.
Yeah, dude. And that's the
they're-
thing. Like, I call that syndrome the mystery artist. Like, I want to be mysterious because I'm an artist. Like, dude, leave that in the door. Because
Yeah.
people need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, right.
You
Well,
have to get
so
your book, right? So yeah.
what's gonna be different about my campaign and what listening to eyes, because a lot of people will listen to people talk, they don't hear it, or vice versa. I mean, and I listened to him. So what I decided was, okay, since there might be this no man's land, like he says, because I mean he's run several successful campaigns. I'm positive he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Well, right. Well, you know how people give tiers, they sell tiers. So what we're going to do is, rather than that, for the whole 4 weeks of the campaign, what we're going to do is every week we're going to give away a piece of art, a toy, a shirt, and there was one other thing. And the possibility to be drawn into the comic. So for every week when new people sign up, we're going to give those away as prizes rather than selling them as tiers in the campaign.
Oh, cool.
So again, it gives everyone a chance to kind of, I mean, it is a lottery, but still, to me, again, like I would rather try to, create a really great community of like support by giving the things away rather than saying, hey, come buy my book. And by the way, if you want art, it's going to cost you $500. Hey, if you want this, I'm not really going to try to milk it too hard. I just want to get funded.
All right. So here, I'm going to break from this. Let me break from this for a second.
Okay.
Because I think this ties into kind of this theme of what our customers' needs. And right now what I'm noticing is price point has been killing a lot of campaigns and a lot of people at the cons. There were people that had things at the cons, their prices were so high, only a few people really had access to it.
Right.
So there's this thing I'm calling accessibility. I'm just labeling all of it under accessibility. How easy can they get to it, and how easy can they part with their money for it?
Right.
That is an interesting way. What has made you decide that you're not going to have expensive tiers?
Honestly, because campaign? I'm a fan, and like most of my life, like I haven't completely been like a rich guy. Like I've had points in my life where I was doing really well. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I've experienced those lows too. And the thing is, like I said, for me, it's more about bringing fans back to the community. Because like I was hearing when you guys were talking about the collectible comics and how they got, bumps because a show was coming out, but then, the price point dropped. Well, the thing to me, what's terrifying is that there won't one day be comic stores, and like the brick and mortar stores go under and this and that. Because like, when I was a kid, I had such an amazing experience going to comic stores on the weekend, because there might be a doctor there buying a Spider-Man #1, and you get to like see one. And you're like, oh my God, this guy. And then you'd have the surfer guy, the stoner guy, the gang guy, and the thing is, there were so many different walks of like people from different walks of life going into those stores. And we were all friends in there. Like there wasn't arguing politics or this or that, or none of that existed. It was the worst kind of argument you get into is that Batman could really beat Superman,
Mm-hmm.
And you'd hear the argument with prep time and with this and that. And it's like, okay. But, and I would love to see that balance come back to comic books again. Get rid of the people that are trying to push narratives, get rid of these things, and just get back to entertaining people, and have like a solid community that's cohesive.
Yeah. Can you get a ding?
I mean, that's why we call it an industry, because it hasn't been community for a long time. Now the fans do create, and here's where we get it wrong. So the fans do create a community, there is a fandom,
right?
But the creators want to try to treat the industry as a community, but I think they started doing that to exploit, right?
Oh, no,
you got to do what's
doubt.
best for the community
and to control.
I mean, not getting paid. I mean,
right?
No, is that what's best for the community?
No, I can completely agree with that end of it, and everyone that's working on my comics are getting paid. The thing is, right. The thing is, it's what I mean about the community is just a certain balance to where, you know, because like I'm very Comicsgate adjacent. You know, just because of over the years, I've seen what has happened to comics where suddenly, you know, you're going to turn an established character gay, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And, you know, I'm supportive of everyone living their best life. But man, before you stomp on someone else's character, just create your own.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to piss off a fan. I mean, if you're really trying to tick off a fan base, that's the way to do it. Go in there and suddenly change Superman, change Peter Parker. And I don't believe in any of that. I'm not for that.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's why we're all, at the very least, adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I'm friendly with I mean, I really, kind of my rule is just don't be a jerk, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, don't be a
really
jerk
hard
and do your best to, you know, to tell your story, you know? And I don't really care
And
who or what's
entertain.
between your legs. I'm really more concerned about what's between your ears and what's in your rib cage. You know, those kind of things than anything else.
But you know, I think somewhere at some point, a lot of the mainstream creators forgot what it is to be a hero and what it means to entertain.
What it is to be human.
And no, I'm not saying that straight across the board because, like, I do have a lot of friends that.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a lot of friends that are definitely not Comicsgate. That are completely like they want nothing to do with it. I'm completely cool with that. I like having friends with different opinions. You know, that's how you grow as a person.
There
you know,
See, it's funny. I actually don't have any friends like that anymore because they won't have anything to do with me.
Wow, that's brutal, dude.
Yeah, I've literally have had people like, well, if you're gonna associate with those people, then I won't associate with you. And I'm
yeah,
like,
well, I've had some of those.
weird.
I've had some of those, and you know, it's gone the other direction too, because you know, I have a friend, Nerdette's Newsstand, and you know, I've known, we've talked for years. I've been on her stream, and you know, people weren't happy that I was going on her stream because she at one time was Comicsgate and she stopped being Comicsgate.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's up
so
to
I mean,
her,
I've gotten
man.
it from both sides, but for me, like I said, I treat people as individuals, not as like props. You know,
Look,
what
there's
I mean?
only one
So-
person I'll not reconcile with.
Who's that?
Giblet. I won't reconcile with Giblet.
You don't have to mention names.
That
yeah.
dude, yeah.
What happened with him?
Oh, I'll
If
tell
you
you
don't mind
later.
me asking.
I've
Okay.
told you, he ripped me off.
Bad
Oh, okay.
association. Yeah.
That's for another day.
Yeah, that's for another day. But as
All right,
far as
gotcha.
everybody else goes, I mean, I'm like, look, you got to
It's all
promote
good, Luke.
as best you can.
You got friends and fans here that will
Thank you,
always
I
back
appreciate
you up
that.
no matter what you believe or say.
I really appreciate that, man.
Well, no, you and Piper, you guys are great people, man. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we just try to do our best to make good comic books. That's really what it's all about,
Yeah.
and have fun doing it. You know, let's have a good time. And you know, I don't really have an association, quote unquote,
Right.
you know, or a hashtag. I will align with something like a value
Right.
until the values of that group change. And then I'm like, well,
Right.
nope, done. Right?
Right.
Which is why, I mean, I used to be a registered Democrat. I was considered liberal.
Me too.
And the
Me too.
values of that group changed. And then I'm like, nope, done there.
Yep. I agree.
And-
I'm technically a registered independent right now, but I definitely lean Republican.
I'm libertarian. You can't register as a libertarian.
Oh,
So they won't
okay,
let
gotcha.
you. They won't let you. So
Right.
you know, so but as far as the politics goes, that's what I am. As far as my comic book goes, there's no politics in there. Well, there's
there shouldn't be.
politics in its world, but they
yeah.
don't reflect me. Now I'm a Christian.
Right.
There's my worldview affects
Right.
the way I write.
It's easy to just say current day.
Yeah, but as it should be. I think a person's worldview should influence the way they write a little bit. But they should also be able to break out of that worldview to write from other perspectives. I think that's what makes really talented people talented. You know,
I agree.
is that aspect. And I think this whole forcing people to choose sides and choose a group is just, it's
That
really
sucks.
getting annoying.
Yeah, it is.
Because I'm seeing it from both sides now. Like it
Yep.
was once like, well, you're Comicsgate because they pushed you out and labeled you that. So yeah, that's what I
Right.
am. And then it's like, oh, well, if you're Comicsgate, then this is what you have to be. I'm like, look, I don't have to be nothing that nobody tells me I have to be. I'm, you know, I wish I had that thing. I can't nobody tell me nothing.
Nothing.
But I mean,
Well,
it
what's
is.
that? Do you remember that episode of South Park where it's like, if you want to be a nonconformist, you have to be just like me?
Exactly. Yes.
I think that it's
It's
sums it
so
up brilliantly.
It's so stupid what is
Yeah,
going on
exactly.
out there in the world. Comic books. Look, as a comic book fan, you know this. We weren't the cool kids. We weren't the jocks. We weren't the ones that got all the dates and all the girls. That didn't happen for us.
I'm getting
I started
Salt
playing
Lake City
guitar.
flashbacks.
Right. I started.
I play guitar too. Yeah.
I started playing guitar so that I could pick up chicks, and it worked.
Right.
I got a hot one, and she married me. I talked her into it.
Congrats.
It was 2 weeks after we were married when I brought in my boxes full of comic books.
See, what's funny is like, as a kid, I did pretty good with the girls, and I always hid the comics. And the action
Congratulations.
figures and stuff. Yeah, no, it was cool.
So
I'm not gonna lie, it was great.
So when
When
you
I
came
wanted
out
to
of the
break
box,
up- Right. Well, no, when I wanted to break up,
maybe
when I went,
maybe I'm a comic book fan.
yeah, but when I wanted to break up with the girl, that's when I broke out the comics.
Yeah, you come
Let
out.
her do it for you.
You're one of those guys. It's like, yep, and I
And
play
she's-
D&D.
And she's
Yeah. Oh, there's the action figure.
perfect.
Sorry, wrong one.
Welcome. Silva's here. Welcome. Good to have you.
Hey,
Yeah.
Silver,
RJ Williams
what's up,
joined
man?
us. Welcome.
Hey,
We're
hey.
having a good time here talking comics and our love for comics and our disdain for people pushing politics and agenda in it. Look, I don't want to write propaganda.
Yeah.
I would rather make fun of it. I love political parody because it makes fun of all the stuff that makes life lame.
Can you blow that up for a second?
Speaking of guitars, I got mine back. It was in the shop. Like I took it to the luthier. and I just
Luthier?
got it back. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'll show it to you.
Oh, he's got a. So this is the action figure, right, Elon?
Yes, sir. Yep.
You're printing off these and giving them away.
Yep. I'm going to be doing one a week for every
Are you
week of the
painting them
campaign.
too?
My brother actually is a very super talented prop maker, and he'll be painting them for me. So,
Just got this
yeah.
baby back from the luthier, baby.
Oh, let's look at that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Nice.
Hold on.
Oh.
Miracle Grow. Bam.
Hey,
Got the
PV. Is it a Wolfgang?
Wolfgang, yeah.
Nice, dude.
Mm.
Yeah, dude.
Ooh, I know what that is.
looks comfortable.
You
to
can
play.
drop that down to D, right?
Yep.
Auto drop. Yep.
Yeah, the R drop, the pickup selector is reversed.
I love it up there.
There's no Bigsby on that. What's going
Turn
on?
around. I want to see the back of that neck.
Okay. No, it's bolt-in. It's a bolt-in.
No. I want to see the wood. Is that bird's eye maple?
No, that's what she said.
Yep.
Is that? Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, dude.
Wow, nice.
There's been through a lot, man. I've toured a lot with this guitar, so I have to change the tuning packs.
I
I'll have to
love
change it
music.
again. But yeah, I got it calibrated. They took care of the neck.
Yeah, music is kind of my outlet for anger.
Yeah,
Like once I play,
dude.
it just kind of goes, it just melts, right?
Yeah.
And in comic books, I see so many people out there that are just angry and bitter that do comic books, and I'm like, man, you need a hobby outside of this.
An outlet.
Yeah, you need to go outside, away from people that know the comic book world.
Can't nobody
Well,
tell
and that's
me
what's
nothing.
crazy is because, like, when you get in,
Thank you. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
yeah, well, to me, getting into comics was a happy place. So I don't
Ronan
understand
has a
the
question. Any
Yeah.
chance of getting the STL?
Yes, yeah, like anybody that,
What I would
like,
do,
this is-
a little
Go
bit
ahead.
of advice, I would
Yeah.
make the STL and add, like, on your campaign, like, say,
Uh-huh.
for instance, if you're running a Fund My Comic, make it one of the things they can add into the cart for $5 or
Right.
whatever, so that they
Yeah,
can
yeah.
print it off as much as they want.
That'd
They
be
can
cool.
print it off a big
Yeah.
one or
Uh-huh.
a little one,
Yeah.
whatever size they
Well,
need
the-
that plunger to be.
Yeah, but the one I'm doing, the one I'll be giving away should be about 7 inches, and it's printed in resin.
Ooh, 7 inches?
So it doesn't have, like, you know how the drawbacks of filament was, where you had the little striations.
Yep.
On the print, this isn't going to have any of that. This is going to be a solid resin figure.
Yeah, I like resin.
So, yeah, me too. They're the better of the two printers, I think.
That's what she
So, yeah, 7 inches. That's what she said.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's still within the realm of decorum, but it's already like size queen realm. I'm going with 7.
But my girlfriend dubbed this the unaction figure.
Okay.
So because it doesn't
the
move.
inaction figure.
Yeah.
The inaction figure, I like that.
Yeah.
What about
There's
this
like
piece? Tell me
0
about
points
this.
of articulation.
Yeah,
Oh, that is
statue.
that is Skunk Artworks.
Oh, awesome. Dude.
Nice.
There you go.
So cool.
Yeah.
And you see why I say he's going to be the next Simon Beasley. I mean,
I think I'm going to warm up with Plunger today.
yeah.
I think I'll do a little fan art.
Well, I'll tell you
This is
this guy oozes talent, man. I adore this guy. Like, Skunk is the best.
I don't know about
You know?
talent. I think there's only 2, like Creed says, there's only 2 things you ever ooze. Pus and sexuality.
Oh, that's dirty. Yeah. Bodily fluids. Yeah. But okay, then he permeates. Like, but yeah, no, he's an amazing guy, and he's so nice, and he's got his own campaign coming out where they're including well, it's not his campaign, but he's working with.
Whoa.
You're muted again.
Muted himself again.
Yeah.
He's talking about.
I can't
talking about
unmute
Kill
you
the
when you do
Dead.
that either.
I'm back. Sorry about that. So Skunk right now is working on a campaign called Kill 'Em Dead, I think.
Mhm.
And it's with Albus Off the Farm, but they're releasing a vinyl record with their project.
Yeah.
I've seen people
Yeah.
do that before. I've seen people do
Oh
that.
no,
that's
dude,
super
you gotta hear these songs, man. These songs are just
Yeah.
killer, like
Matt
opera.
Knowles does that. He has a heavy metal band,
Mhm.
and he does that with his campaigns. He's I backed one where I got the album,
Oh, cool.
which is pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, they're actually running an art contest for the album art. So it's actually
Yeah,
being
yeah.
pressed in vinyl. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Sweet.
Yep.
I've never entered an art contest recently. I did in the past.
I hate art contests myself.
I've won awards for my art. Did you know that? I'm an award-winning artist.
I've won one award for an art contest. Just one.
I haven't won an award for an art contest since the 2nd grade. So
Red dress, yes.
won them. I just don't like how I
Yeah.
get when I get into an art contest, so I just don't do them.
Chris, this is a 3-hour show. We are closing down in 15 minutes.
Left it running while I went to and ate with Mom. Never heard of the Plunger. Yeah.
Well, that's because the Plunger's new. Now, when did you plan
Brand new.
on launching this book?
it's going to launch in January.
Okay.
So
What platforms are you
we're
going to be
really-
on?
Yours.
Yes!
Hell yeah.
Of course. Come on. It's a no-brainer. Yours and
That's the
Indiegogo.
win right there.
Right.
Winner,
right.
winner.
It's Indie No-No
Yes, chicken dinner. Yeah.
and Dick Starter.
Russ says I got an award from the Queen.
Dang.
Yeah.
My award was not from the Queen.
Participations of trophies count, Luke.
They did. All right, so I actually won awards in high school,
That was a low blow, man.
and I am still working. sorry. I'm still working. I am totally gonna do the Luke Stone Studios Best Someone Awards. Okay, so like the
Best
best
Dude
someone who made a book about a plunger.
Nice.
Right.
There you go.
We have one entry. We have one winner, and we're gonna call
You
it
have one
the
entry on that, like,
LSSBS Awards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get it? The
right.
LSSBS Awards.
That's fun.
And I'm just gonna,
There we go.
the best someone that goes by 3 initials. We have 3 people that enters. People get to vote on it. I'll have polls for each one of them. Yeah. I'll
All right.
So this is the divine intervention.
Well,
You could
I think
become
I'm a
spiritual
definite
guru
winner
on your
for
own,
the Plunger Award.
but you just
The
have to
guy
tie
who
your
created a
shoes,
comic about a plunger.
and you just have to know how to eat burritos backwards.
Mm. Yep.
You just have to know how to eat burritos backwards.
Those awards sound familiar.
Yeah.
It's the B.
Terrifying
Honestly,
looking man. I'm
it's the
sorry.
B. It's the BS Awards. Okay.
They'd be just as valid as any of the other awards show out anymore.
Bingo. That's
Yeah.
exactly
I
what
rather
it is.
receive that than a nice
That'd be a great
about
thing
that?
to do.
But you're gonna rent out a Dave and Buster's, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So here's what's interesting about this. So this is not going to
We're dredging that
leave
one
you. So what are the basic price points on your campaign going to be?
Well, basically, we're keeping it simple. I think, unless this changes, mind you, because there's still a few things I have to factor into this. We're just going to do the comic for $10 and the free card for the first day backers.
Bam.
So, because, we're printing the comic in black and white, so I'm figuring, $10 seems about right.
Sure.
Unless, if you can give me
How
any
many
feedback
pages?
on that, it'd be, it's going to be 22 pages. 22?
22 pages, $10 black and white might be a little high.
Yeah.
You think so?
I would go 7.
Yeah, a little high.
Because you can print it for less than $2.
Yeah, because 22
Oh, okay.
You can print it for about $1.
Add more
Yeah,
pages.
no,
in color, yeah.
As
Or
far
add
as
more pages.
printers-
So 48
as far as
pages for
printers go.
$10.
Yeah. What do you think would who would you go with as for your printer? Because I mean,
I got a guy
people
for you.
talk about
I got a guy
Print
for you.
Ninja and
No.
Okay, cool.
No. Yeah, I'll get with you. You'll use my guy.
Okay, cool.
You'll use my
Sounds
guy.
He does
Yeah.
really
Alright.
good work.
He does a
One
hell
of
of a
the-
job.
it's
Yeah.
one of the best deals in the
You'll use
business
my
right
guy.
now.
We got you, man. We got you hooked
And then,
up.
the
This
other
is why you
question:
should
what do you
make-
think about the fulfillment? Like, do you do that on your own, or do you send that to? a
I do
separate
that on my
party?
own, but honestly, if you wanted some help with that, I would say RJ does a hell of a job.
Exactly. Elon.
Okay.
RJ does one of the best
I don't
jobs
live,
of it.
I don't live in the U.S. All right, so my
Okay.
only option is centers. So I did my research, and RJ not only is one of the best options, but dude, it's so upfront and in the open,
And a
Like,
personal
you-
touch to it.
Yeah, you won't have to worry
Okay.
about anything. Everything is just like, hey, we're doing this, and he'll send you a chart. You'll understand everything.
Yep.
I speak coconut English, so it's really hard with me. And dude, it was completely on the clear. So dude,
Well,
I
he did fulfillment for C3PO,
Mhm.
for Drunk 3PO.
Oh, okay.
And he
For Irene.
he does fulfillment for Irene. Speaking of which, Irene
Oh, okay.
launches this Saturday on Fund My Comic,
Oh,
an exclusive
Nice.
Fiendish 2.5.
Then I will be backing that this Saturday.
Oh, I will. And you know what? I'll be getting the catch up because I haven't backed any of her stuff. Yeah. And she's keeping
Yeah,
more
no,
of her own
she's
money.
super talented.
She's keeping
She
more of
is
her own money because
super
we're doing
talented.
we're doing this new promotion, Elon. I don't know if you heard this. I talked about it earlier. But if people will
Okay.
run at least their first 30 days exclusive on a new book on Fund My
Right.
Comic, they get a 2% platform fee for as long as they run
Nice.
exclusive on the. As soon as they move to another platform to run a second chance, then we move it back up to 3%. But we override the base 3% for their campaign at a 2%.
That's cool. That is
That's the
really
thing,
cool.
man.
And we're looking at maybe doing an even deeper promotion, where if people run exclusively, they're not going to run that campaign anywhere else.
Right.
Doing an even deeper cut off the platform
Yeah.
fee,
Yeah.
because we
Wow.
want to encourage
Well, I mean-
people to use the great tools we have.
Fun
Well,
my
I
comic.
remember.
We go deep.
I remember when you were first mentioning Fund My Comic, and you were talking about how you were working on the web development, and I think you said that someone else was actually working on that. This was like a year ago. I want.
Yeah, I'm not the developer. I'm the idea guy. We
Yeah.
pay a development firm to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
So I remember when you were first talking about it, and I was thinking to myself, like, if I was gonna do, I mean, I was sure I was gonna do a comic. It was just a matter of when. But I definitely wanted to give your platform first go. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I mean, you've been such a nice guy, and you're so supportive of the community. Like, if I can, if we can all help each other out, it's a win-win for everyone.
I read.
You know?
I really do try to help people out. It's funny. Someone was saying the other day, because obviously there's one person I won't deal with, and they have a real problem with me. They like to go around and try to tell people how wicked and evil I am, and they're like, "That's like, how did they even say that?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Maybe I should give them a reason."
Yeah.
I can find a reason. I can find a couple reasons.
You
make
hate
me-
me
Right,
now.
right.
Give me a second. So yeah, about this slogan, like, Fund My Comic.
Two-time
We go
imagination
deeper
machine
and
champ
harder
for fourth
your
and fifth
comic.
grade right here. Sixth grade was right. Yeah, sixth grade. Man, I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
No,
sixth grade.
I won awards in high school, and I did win some awards outside of high school. A couple of contests, but that was my early days. That was my early days trying to get up there and be known. Now I don't. Let's put it this way: the first time I ever worked on a comic book in this industry for someone else, and got like as a business side, One and only time I ever got paid $25 a page was with that, and which was Giblet. And I'll never do that again. In fact, I don't.
No.
I have this joke, because sometimes I got used to in the hospital because I had the one hand that didn't do anything, so that I would always know where it was. I would just tuck it under my elastic in my shorts, right there on the side.
I did the Al Bundy.
Yeah, I did the Al Bundy on it, so it wouldn't flop around. So it wouldn't flop around while I was asleep.
Yeah.
And so it's still a habit. Like my arm moves now, it doesn't flop around. It's getting a lot of motion and range back, but I'll still just And I'm like, look, I don't take the hand out of the elastic for less than $50 an hour. That's what I told him. I said $25 an hour won't get my hand out of my pants.
Yeah.
And when I say that, that's what I'm referring to, but it sounds like I'm saying that I like to jerk off a bunch, but
But is it that
We
bad?
were all 15
Is
at
it
one
that
point.
bad that you love yourself?
What'd you say, Elon?
Oh, we were all 15 at one point. So whether we still love it or not, we did at one point. That was my first true love. You know what I mean? Discovering Betty Page and the Rocketeer, sneaking off to the bathroom.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So when it comes to your campaign, I would have to say
Liquor! Our prices have never been lower!
it's going to be affordable. People are going to be able to get it. It's launching in January.
Yes,
We're going to have you back on when you launch for certain. Maybe we got to find you a good launch party too. Maybe we'll figure out when to do that, or try to get someone lined up.
Yeah.
If you could launch on Bancroft, if you can get enough signups, I think he said you have to have at least 50 signups to launch on his channel. 100 works better. But the more signups you can get, is there a link where people can go to sign up for this right now?
See, I haven't gotten that far ahead yet, to be honest with you. Because I've just been focusing right now on working with Rich, working with Tony.
Yeah. Phil, you got time. I mean, you're one launch
Yeah,
in
I have
January,
time.
so
But
you
I
got
can almost
Plenty of time. I would say get a sign, and I'll. All right, so this is good information for everybody. You can easily start a free MailChimp, okay?
Okay.
And you have the ability to do a landing page.
Okay.
All you need to do is create a landing page. You can even do like theplungerbook1.com or whatever, because I'm sure theplunger.com is taken. But so you have your .com, and you can redirect that .com to the landing page. And on that landing page, you just have a couple of pieces of information, show the art, say when you plan to launch, and then just have them sign up. It has a little form embedded where they can sign up for the mailing list, and that goes into MailChimp, and you get to keep that mailing list no matter what happens in your life. No one can ever tell you can't mail those people like the green site and pink site do. Yep. That's why we encourage people to use the plugin on their Fund My Comic page. And if you really, really wanted to, and doing a landing page was too much, you could actually have like kind of pre-build. Like, let me show you one. Here's another option for a landing page. The Mythicals.
Ooh.
Oh, we had that guy on our old stream. Yeah,
I spelled it wrong.
Yeah.
There we go.
Great success.
Hojo. Check this out.
Hojo, yeah.
So here's what he's done. He's got his trailer up here. He's even got like what the book's going to cost, right? And a little bit of information. Just a little bit of information. And he will add all the stuff closer when it's time. But he says click here to sign up. Now, you can embed a mailing list with MailChimp, but he's using a different service, Subscribe Page, which does not like to play with other people. Okay, so they only like to play with themselves.
Nice.
Page don't play.
I'm a fan.
Right. So, but you could even do that. So it's as simple as just getting something up so that people can start to see it and sign up for that. By the way, guys, go to Fund My Comic and sign up for the Mythicals #2 today. You know what? While we're there, let's check out that trailer real quick. Just because we're here, let's do a little bit of promo for our buddy.
Yeah.
I told that moron not to take out my Tchaikovsky tape. No matter, let's get started. We soldier, now stop talking. I let you show them money issues. I'm a vampire with a checkered past. But there are other teammates she's yet to meet. One in particular might be a little bit shocking for her. I do hope she's not allergic.
Boobies.
Back in today, won't you?
Yes, I will.
Like right meow.
I will. Wait a second. Is that the cat's voice? Was the cat the narrator?
The cat was the narrator.
Holy cow! That's awesome! The cat talks!
The cat talks.
Hojo, you get
It's out of
me.
the bag. It's out of
You
the
get
bag.
me. Hojo has a heartstring that goes directly to my wallet.
Right now.
Well, hey, Luke, wait till I get to talk to you off stream about there's a character in the comic, the bad guy, that I am keeping a secret because it's really crucial to the story. So it's like a big plot twist, but I'll talk to you about it off stream, and I think
Sweet.
you're going to really like it too.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
Yeah.
Guys, don't forget to check out of Obscurity.
Yeah.
It's got 9 days left to go on its second chump. We're at 50 backers, which is better than where we started at when we ended the last one. We were at 49 backers. We did have a couple of failed pledges, so we opened this back up as a keep it all. Since we'd already funded, we know we're making this book. We've got everything we need to do it, and we're running 9 days to go on that, but it will run out a direct process instead of the post process for that. So please check that out. Another offering from Arrow Comics. You're going to get to meet a lot of our good friend Spank the Monkey.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yep, the character's name is Spank the Monkey.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, here.
Dude, that fits in so well with what we're doing too.
Let's meet Spank real quick.
You can run that trailer.
Yeah, for sure.
Get ready for an exhilarating journey into the boundless world of imagination. Welcome, comic book enthusiasts, to the extraordinary realm of Out of Obscurity. This groundbreaking anthology, published by Arrow Comics, unveils a legion of aspiring creators, each eager to leave their mark on the industry. Prepare to be captivated as they breathe new life into obscure public domain characters, creating their own unique tales within the pages of this awe-inspiring collection. Out of Obscurity is a testament to the unwavering passion and creative prowess of these emerging talents. They have meticulously resurrected forgotten heroes and heroines, spinning intricate yarns that span the ages. Brace yourself for action-packed battles, mind-bending mysteries, and heartwarming triumphs that will transport you to uncharted territories of excitement. By supporting our Fund My Comic campaign, you become an essential part of this historic endeavor. Together, we can catapult these aspiring creators towards their dreams of comic book glory. Join us on this epic odyssey and witness the birth of new legends. Your generous contributions will not only help us bring Out of Obscurity to life, but also grant you access to exclusive rewards, including remarkable artwork, signed copies, and behind-the-scene glimpses. Embrace the spirit of adventure, for within these pages, untold wonders await. Together, let us ignite the spark of greatness within these visionary talents and redefine the landscape of the comic book universe. Be a part of history and make Out of Obscurity a reality.
What a poet.
What a poet.
Wow.
Dude, you need to make a resin or a 3D figure of Spanx.
I'm going to.
Yeah, well, do you do modeling? Do you do the 3D modeling yourself, or
I don't.
do you have
No, I pay a guy to do it.
Oh, well, the guy that did mine only charged me, I think it was $47.63. It was a ridiculous number. Like, I was like, why you would pick $47.63 as opposed to 50 or 45.
The guy I've been working with for all of my stuff. Sorry, Whiskey, but I've been with him for a while. Before I even met Whiskey. Whiskey does it too. Whiskey does those things. Whiskey's really good. He's a little bit more than $47.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But he is he's a telecom guy for a hospital in Argentina.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so he does 3D model on the site, and he's a tremendous artist. He's a true artist, which is why I started using him, because you know, he's as adept with doing these 3D models as someone is with a brush or whatever. So he has a distinct art style that he does for all of my stuff. And you know, I want to keep going with him. The bust that I have, he started with. It was him that did that. But he's done a 3D model that I haven't printed yet for what's his name? HeroBot Zero. So I've got one of those. I need to get that printed and shipped off to Randy.
I was just going to ask you about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get that one done. But yeah, so he's you know, but yeah, I'm gonna get a 3D print of him and have a Kishi. Is that how you pronounce it?
Keshi.
Or whatever it is. Like Kesha, the singer.
Yeah. Kishi,
Kesha looks like she'd be sticky, doesn't
Kishi,
she?
you will find a Kishi at a truck stop, maybe.
Oh, speaking of Kesha, doesn't she kind of look like she would smell of patchouli and be a little sticky?
Yep.
Probably have hairy armpits too.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, yeah, probably.
I would not
but yeah,
doubt
so you
that,
can pick up this book right now. We should have it ready to print in the next, I don't know, 3-4 weeks.
I got a story yet to do for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that one. There was something new on My Comic that just launched last night, I believe. I want to show this one off.
What we've got.
I don't know why I'm seeing all this stuff. I'm not signed in, am I? I might be signed in. What was the name of that campaign? Let's go. There's Fiendish. Ready to go. Matt Hollow.
Hey, Luke, did Dave Tomasi use you as a platform?
He did, yes.
Yeah. That guy's really cool. I edited that comic, The Rogue, The American Dream. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You're the first person I've talked to that's worked on it.
Yeah. No, he's a dude. His whole origin story is crazy, man. Like, one morning we started talking on Twitter, and then he DMs me and asks me, "How do you write a comic?" And I was like, "Well, that's an interesting question." You know, right?
Yeah,
There is no right way. And I was like,
there's
"But
a lot more that goes into that than just a word or two in it.
Right. But like I explained the Marvel method, you know, that they used in the 90s versus the DC. And then like within 2 weeks, he sends me a 90-page story. And he's like, "Will you read this?" And I was like, "Wow, that's a lot to ask, but yeah, sure. You know, I'll read it." And then I gave him feedback on it. And then I explained to him why, you know, from a storytelling aspect, you know, like why certain things worked, why certain things didn't. And within a couple of days, I got another script. And eventually he was just like, "Dude, you know, you're doing so much on this. Like, would you like to edit it?" So, but I mean, he literally did all this from like zero to hero in like a couple of months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, really cool guy.
He's on the platform. There it is. That's the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
This just launched. Apogee Comics.
There you
Just
go.
launched this book. 3 backers already. 29
nice.
days left to go. Check this trailer out. Bengali. This music will get me struck.
Yeah.
One man.
One man. They got to do old school movie voice. One man.
Rose up with the power of an ancient mask. I have an ancient mask.
I have several of those.
And dare to fight the darkness. That guy right there.
There you go. He fought the darkness. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Is there
That's a Naga, dude.
Oh yeah, it's a snake person.
To become
That's close enough.
the demon of San Diego,
San Diego.
which is Spanish for a whale's vagina.
Exactly.
Is that what it is?
Loosely translated.
Actually,
Yes.
it's not the entire
Agree to
vagina,
disagree.
it's the lips.
Bengali, issue number 3.
Yeah.
Hey, Genuine Comics.
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Dave, what's
Hello.
up?
We
Yeah.
must be going. Yeah.
Yeah, so you grab, So you can grab all 3 issues on this one.
Totally.
Very cool. This one's up right now. I like the art. I like Nick Garber is the creator behind this one. I don't know if you've ever met him or not. He's, I believe, a cop, former cop or something. Yeah. Silence that. But yeah, he's got a very unique art style.
I'm so glad we have multiple Daves that hang out in the chat.
Yeah.
You can use this.
We have so many Daves. These are the Daves I know.
It's a Dave move.
That reminds me of that song. These are the Daves I know.
The Council of Dave.
From Kids in the Hall. I love Kids in the Hall. Guys, that's it. You know what? I think that's going to be our show for the day.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for being here. Don't forget to check out Fun My Comic. You can also get The Fool over there right now on Fun My Comic.
There
that
it
is in the continuous.
Get it now before it's
campaign.
gone.
It's the storefront.
Before we go,
I don't know why it's going back to continuous. Campaign.
Make sure you join the mailing list.
It keeps getting renewed. So.
Well, no, it says continuous. It's supposed to say storefront. I don't know why it says continuous. I don't know why it did that. Like, are they all saying that now?
I don't know.
That are continuous? Yeah.
I keep getting notices.
I made it. I paid for an update on that. Why is it saying that?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's your site, Luke.
All right. No, it's a phone call to the developers. What it is. That's strange.
Yo, panel. Just missed you guys. Yeah, we're getting out of here. J-Bot.
Getting out of here.
Good show.
Yeah.
Good show.
Yep. I'll be talking to Ryan today. What's up, bro? What's up, Ryan?
Trailers. People still do those. Yeah.
People still do some trailers every once in a while. But yeah. Check out the store there. Check out Comics by Night. Check out Comics by Night.
Comics by Night, 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're going to be looking at Albsum Dak, Dalek Killer. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Very obscure Marvel book of a character that's in the Doctor Who universe.
Yep. If you need some free modeling done, call Whiskey.
Yeah,
Whiskey will get you action figure made.
Pixel was here for a few minutes. He had to bounce. So appreciate Pixel popping in.
Check out Pixel's book. Where's it at? Right there.
AR13L. Yeah,
Little Mermaid.
Still doing
We're
great.
shipping soon.
One of FMC's success
18,531.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Very good. Very exciting. Very exciting. Yeah, guys, check that out. Get Pedro for all your animation needs.
Yeah. Dude, like I have a new. It's what we call a bumper. It's what Animated Toys used to do for to come and go from commercials. And I'm doing that for Weapons and Kaijus with the 3 characters. I'm starting to work on the trailer. It's really short. So yeah, just.
That's it?
Yeah. I got that. This is Jackie Harris. That's
very short.
Yeah, remember like those bumpers when they're like, "We'll be right back." You know, like, Dragon Ball, whatever.
It took him 6 weeks to make that, guys.
It's a
it
work
took him
in progress.
6 weeks to put that thing together.
Yeah, just actually 2 days, but close. And this is the bumper for Sophia Ryan. And yeah, it's just like. So yeah, just doing little things. And
that one was a month and a half. That one was.
Yeah. And now I'm working on a full-fledged minute 12. I already finished the storybook.
We're gonna finish strong.
Yeah, for the Weapons and Kaijus trailer. So yeah, guys, 130 pages of mech action with hot babes, nice mechs, and horrible kaiju. So
keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled for that book. That's going to be on Fun My Comic as well with an exclusive cover. Be sure to check out Elon Mudd, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
Keep an eye out for this guy. Thanks for joining us today. It was nice talking with you and getting to converse with you and hear your story.
Man. Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, man, comic books are awesome. Guys, remember, build up more than you tear down. Leave the woodpile higher than you found it. And by all means, we do hope that you be careful out there.
Yep.
See.
Let's be careful.
Thanks again, guys. It was nice meeting you all.
Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7-Eleven on the corner of 4th and Main. 2 Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see it too. 99, 218 W's or DTA, and several miscellaneous crimes. Homicide.